best of the underground. Make madness your ritual.
Hey, Ritual Madness Podcast, episode 168. Hanging out with fellas from Mordrot. Do me a favor, check out ritualmadnesspodcast.com, and on the right side, you can connect with us with a multitude of links. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can connect with us on there. YouTube. Download the Stitcher app or the iTunes podcast app, and you can connect with us there. Also, download the Listen to My Radio app. That's LIST and the number 2. And let me see, number 2, My Radio. And search Ritual Madness Podcast in there. If you shop Amazon, scroll down to the Amazon link, click it, bookmark it as your own. Every time you buy something off of Amazon, it'll kick us back a couple pennies at no cost to you. Below there's a donation link if you're feeling generous. Please help us keep things going here. If you're in a band or you have friends that are in bands, donate, send your stuff, all that other good stuff to Ritual Madness Podcast at Gmail. Ritual Madness Podcast at Gmail. Check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, the official tattoo shop of Ritual Madness Podcast, because Jason's my friend and I love his stuff and he's cool and all that stuff. 3500 Minnehaha Avenue, South Minneapolis, 612-721-0038. Give them a call, get some tattoo work done. Check out dotwpod.com, Disciples of the Watch Podcast, another local podcast we do here. Very cool cats, covering all kinds of cool shit. Check them out. And also listen to the Root of All Evil radio show and the Roar of the Underground, both on KFAI's Fresh Air Radio. Check them out. That would be awesome. And all of that happy shit. Now that I'm done with all that, we're hanging out with the guys from Mordrot. It has been a while since Brian has been in here. And Mr. Huebner, your other band was here. What, did you say 3 years ago or some shit like that? Don't do it.
It was just me. It was actually just me as kind of like repping
right
Cold Cuts and the Mordrot.
Cold Cuts.
That was 2013, I think, because it was supposed to be there for our CD release show that got canceled because Station 4 closed.
And now you're back in 2018, like a motherfucker, right? Popping the cherry on 2018. Yes.
See, 2013 doesn't even seem that long ago.
But it's 5 years.
Jesus Christ.
That is a little while, right?
Yeah.
We've been a band 6 years this month.
Wow.
That is weird.
That's fucked up.
All right.
And you guys haven't been on here.
No.
That's fucking, that's kind of crazy, actually.
We didn't have anything to promote.
Yeah. There were shows and stuff.
Well, yeah, but we wanted to wait until we had some actual recordings.
Yeah.
We had the demo recorded 5.5 years ago.
Yeah, that we... We were touring on that demo for 5 years,
Yep.
man.
Nice. That's the way to do it right there. Get out there and just keep going.
Played all the big fests.
Yeah. What, down at Station 4?
Yep.
Oh. Or Triple Rock.
No, Station 4, Club Underground.
There you go.
Big fests.
Yeah.
Oh, the big fests.
Going around. And
Northeast Minneapolis Death Fest.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. So how you guys doing tonight, man?
Well, we're good.
How was your New Year? How was your Christmas? All that other shit.
Stayed awake for it, so.
For New Year's or Christmas?
For New Year's, it was amazing. I mean, fucking dozed off like minutes before midnight. I'd wake up my fiance. Happy New Year. All right, let's go to bed.
That was it.
I stayed up just because my 8-year-old son, had never stayed up for New Year's at midnight. So my wife and I were like, okay, we'll stay up for it. So it's like he was keeping us up because both her and I are looking at each other like,
yeah.
Can we just like nap before it? We're so pathetic. So.
Never
thought I'd get there.
Did
but
you watch the ball drop and everything, or what?
Yeah, but
we had
to do that, and we had to like not have it on, around 11 o'clock when they're showing it in New York.
Right.
So
you should have just done that. Well, that's it.
I haven't even seen one of those ball drop TV shows since.
How horrible
99
was it?
Maybe?
How horrible was it?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was just waiting for him to do the countdown. It was like probably some music I've never heard of.
Yeah. Fuck.
So that everyone else knows that I'm like, I don't know.
Little Meat Puppet or something. Yo,
Dizzy Wizzy.
This is our fucking New Year's Artist of the Year. Fucking Dip Dizzy Wizzle.
Didn't they have Mariah Carey and she was bitching about hot tea or some shit?
That was a couple of years ago.
Oh, I'm with the times.
Yeah, she's huge, dude. She's huge. So, to go around the table, tell me who you are and what you do in the band.
I'm Brian, and I do bass and vocals. Used to do guitar, but then switched to bass.
Gotcha.
And still did vocals. when
Yep.
you did guitar. I'm Nick, and I do guitar and sometimes vocals.
There you go.
I'm Mitch, and I play drums, and I do not do vocals.
Well, that's no good. You got to start. Just start screaming with them.
Get you a little arm mic.
No, get the headset.
Yeah, dude.
Get the Janet Jackson
Fuck yeah.
/ Madonna.
Oh, the Rhythm Nation 1776. But I don't know. One.
Well, I knew this podcast was going to be fun off the bat when we were talking about whether or not certain porn stars were alive and they weren't alive. And then we were talking about what was the porn star's name that we were $2,000 to get her? What?
Nina Hartley.
Yeah, Nina Hartley.
I'm glad we could bond over that.
I don't know. I've always thought that Nina Hartley was hot.
Oh, she had that. She's got.
Big juicy ass.
Well, she's got a little bit of a lisp too. She's just kind of not perfect, but
Yeah.
awesome.
Taking all kinds of
Yep.
dinks every which way. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So well, you guys are just ready to release some more stuff, or what the fuck are you doing here?
I don't know.
Well, we recorded 6 songs almost a year ago now. It took us that long. We decided
Where'd you
since we recorded with Will Marvelous.
Will Marvelous.
Will
yeah.
Marvelous.
I like
Will
that guy.
Maravellis at 1459, and we just went in and recorded it live, which I did not know about until the 3rd song. True story.
Say what?
We went in and recorded a lot of the tracks live. They had communicated it with each other, but had not communicated it to me. So we're playing, and while we got to the 3rd song, I found out we were tracking and using everything we were recording there. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It was
Okay,
awesome.
well, I guess what I just played is what's going to be on there.
That's
so
the only
Wow.
way
But
I've
you
ever
know what?
recorded.
Just going for
yeah,
it.
and my bands have been different, so it's just kind of like, but this band, it's like it worked.
Sure. Sure.
So, but we recorded 6 songs, and then we decided to release it with a 5-song demo from when we were called Mordrot Wolf,
yeah.
since we're a different name, and master the 2 together and put it out as a full length.
Now, what made you change your name?
There's a trademark infringement with another Mord Wolf from Albany, New York, and we coexisted for a long time, and they were super cool about it because they beat us to the punch, and then finally when we got back together and started working again,
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, man." They sent us a message. It's time for you to change the name. I'm trying to push my band. I can't have 2 Mord Wolves anymore, and so we, politely changed our shit and avoided any legal action.
Well, I
But
mean,
he was cool about it. I mean, they were fucking cool about
We
it.
still haven't asked him how he came up with it because it was a made up word.
you mean
Yeah.
you guys didn't want to do Mord Wolf Inc. or Mord Wolf
Mord Wolf AD,
yeah.
There was,
Mord Wolf
there was
MN?
discussion.
X, Mord, X, Wolf, X.
It was one of those instances where it was already a band name that we came up with because we couldn't think of anything anyways.
Sure.
It was literally it was a combination of us looking at a Swedish to American on Google Translate, and looking up metal sounding words,
Yeah.
combined with us making a joke about, hey, we could always be one of those bands with Wolf in their name.
Right.
And so the 2 came together. So it was literally like, it sounded okay, and we were like, fine, it's a good enough name. So
Right.
it's not like it's that heartbreaking.
Sure.
Yeah, we
have
had
it.
those ridiculous message threads where
Yeah,
your bandmates are like, "Oh, we got poop shit, dick fucks, destroyers here, freaking microphone ass fuck," and then they're like, "Oh, okay, Mord Wolf. I guess that one doesn't suck
Yeah.
horribly."
It sounds okay. So
Right.
So the fact that we changed it, whatever. We
What
just,
made you decide to go to Mordrot?
same first letter, and after I had briefly left the band, they had briefly changed their name to Rotted.
Oh, that's
So it's Mord Rot.
yeah. We've been Mord Wolf, Ulv Mord,
Yep.
Rotted, and now we're Mord Rot.
I still loved the Elf Mord logo.
Ulv Mord.
I still think
I don't remember what the logo was.
Why didn't you stick with that one?
I don't know because we were
hated
called
that name
we were
so
called
bad.
Ulvmord when I left the band,
Yeah.
and then they changed it when I was gone. And
Mitch-
then when we got back together, we decided just to use the Mord.
Why did you hate it so much, Mitch?
I don't know. I just don't like that word.
Of
It's basically the same thing as Mordwolf. It's
Right.
just Ulv, Scandinavian
Yeah,
wolf.
yeah.
So it's more like Wolf Mord,
Right.
Ulv Mord.
Yeah,
than
Jimmy
it's like-
was in the band for a short period
Yep.
when we were called Ulfmord.
And then
I
it
think
was
he- I think
Rotted. And I
he's-
told you guys not to use that name because Gore Rotted changed their name to The Rotted, but they're always indexed as Rotted. I'm like, well, that's probably shouldn't use that name because it's gonna get. And they're a grind band, so it's not like they're a calypso band that we don't have to worry about that, crossing over.
Hey, there's the Hard Times article. It said the world's gonna run out of bad names by like 2050. So
That's about right.
yeah, there's a little bit of overlap.
That's why there's so many bands now that just name themselves after a noun of something that's in the room.
Yeah.
Screens, walls,
Well, I guess there is
ceiling.
Okay.
nails and lungs. And
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's just find a noun.
Well, there's a
Couch.
We have Impaler. We have Impaler from here. There's Impaled
Yep.
from California as carcass worship. And then there's another power violence crust band or whatever called Impalers. So just
There's another band. There's another band. I think they're from Australia or Europe. One of the two that's called Impaler now. And
wow.
I heard Pantera's not being used anymore.
The Pantera boys.
Panteras.
Pantera's AD.
how about Malice?
Whoa!
Shots fired.
How dare you besiege the Sons of Rock?
How dare you? That's just fucking wrong. You can't do that shit. That's just causing trouble right off the top.
I'll never forgive Disturbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can all agree on that.
Dude, that was probably the worst thing ever. And
Well,
then
especially
talking
since
to
one of
Earl
the
about it,
guys,
too.
one of the guys in Disturbed used to play in another band that played with Earl's Disturbed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was in because they were from Chicago, and
Right.
he used to be at like a lot of those
Yeah.
new metal, new rock
Sure.
bands. Like Soil used to have
Yeah.
guys that used to be in death metal bands.
Right, right.
That was the same kind of thing.
Was it Broken Hope or?
I don't think it was Broken Hope. It was somebody else. I can't remember who it was. It wasn't like Broken Hope or Syndrome or it was somebody else.
I think it was Broken Hope.
well, that was Soil.
Yeah, the one dude from
Yeah,
Soil
Tim
was-
King from Oppressor, and then Sean Glass from Broken Hope. I
Yeah.
think. So
Yeah, I was blown away when I actually saw those guys, and I was like, "Dude, weren't you in fucking Broken Hope?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm in Soil," and I watched, and I'm going, "Yeah, that's not the same same vein you were going there for, buddy."
kind of like when I first saw you in Sublevel
Maybe, yeah, probably.
with the goggles, and I'm like, "That's the dude from Necromus."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that was in my old new metal days. So Sublevel was the shit. We're like E-tone tuning down to it's like A sharp, freaking just. Oh, love that sound.
Yeah,
Fucking love that
just
sound.
fucking mud. Just mud chug.
And then Zach and Nate, and then they joined the band.
Yep.
They're brothers, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a crazy deal. Eric quit, and then fucking I asked Zach if he knew anybody. He's like, "Yeah, I know somebody," and he's like, "My brother will do it." And I'm like, "Okay, well, is your brother any good?" And he's like, "He's 15." And I go, "Okay." Next thing, the dude shows up the next day for practice and knows all the fucking songs.
Yeah.
learned them all in one night. Just stayed up, fucking
Freaking amazing.
spun out on dope.
I just saw Zach at Alice Cooper last year in Mankato.
Yeah, was he singing to himself?
No, he's just being Zach. Hey,
Was he?
Brian,
Did he smell like garlic?
I don't
Dude,
know.
he'll eat full cloves of garlic and just come and
wow.
give you a kiss. It's great.
I used to do that when I get sick. I'll just
Eat
stink.
full-
Oh, dude, just sweat garlic just
Yeah.
horribly.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be good for you.
So yeah, we recorded some songs.
Yep, spiral.
Way to change the subject, Brian.
Way to bring it back.
Yeah,
And so you recorded some new songs.
Yep.
And how are they?
I
they
think
changed?
I think they sound pretty.
Have you
fantastic.
changed them since you recorded them? I know because you have
No,
some
because
lineup
I think
changes,
we've
right?
got. No, we haven't had lineup change since we recorded. Well, the first demo we recorded with Vern, our old bass player,
Yep.
and then this last one we did we just recorded it as a 3-piece.
Okay.
But no, I think I could count on definitely 2 hands the amount of times we've been together since we recorded. Probably one hand.
Yeah.
How many times we have been together since we recorded these songs last February? So
We've played
So-
exactly one show since then.
One show.
One
Yep.
show.
Where'd you play it at?
Hexagon.
Oh, yeah.
Hexagon.
Yep.
That was fun. Yeah, last
That was our
month.
come out of hiding so we could make some money to pay to finish our album.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's when
There you go.
Sent it out to Dan Swano in Swedeville, and
What do you guys got a show coming up too real soon? January 20th.
No, that's my other band, Silly Head.
Oh, that is, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm
that
sorry.
show we booked with you.
That is right. That's right. I'm sorry. That's my
But thank
bad.
you for that plug.
Hey, it's
I
right there.
guess.
It's ready to go, man. Let's do it. The 20th. What do you got? Who's all on that bill?
That one is the Cold Colors, Antiverse, Volsunga Saga, Echoes of the Fallen, and Etheric.
Yes. Sorry, I fucked all
Put
that
on
up.
that
so
presented
professional,
by
man.
Ritual Madness
Yep.
podcast.
Stupid shit.
Yeah.
Garbage. Well,
No,
what's-
we probably should look into doing a CD release show.
Yeah,
We're
that's
gonna have CDs.
Well, yeah, because and I think our official release date for the CDs, the 26th this month. That's
All
what.
right, get on it.
Yeah, that's what me and Will decided. So yeah, January 26th.
That's
There's
no pressure on me to finish the layout
Yep.
without Photoshop on my computer right now. I
Hey,
got
wait,
three
well,
to come.
wait. Did you tell? This is the first time you knew about it. Or?
I put it in the message thread.
So,
Alright.
so they're gonna.
We weren't planning on doing a physical release.
Yeah.
We were just going to release it online.
Yeah.
But then Will and Zero Budget offered to help us out, so because they put it out because Will had recorded it and was actually a fan of the music and
Nice.
really genuinely wanted to put it out. So we're like, you know what? It's not like we have plans or we have funds to do it ourselves. So why not?
He's on the recording. He
Oh, yeah,
he
guitar
does a-
solos.
You did what?
Yeah, he did a guest guitar solo because I had nothing for a spot. And like, you do it.
Yeah, he just handed him a guitar and he did it solo, just like, here, just do this.
He was just punching it in, like, oh, this sounds good. Okay, that works. That
That's
works.
awesome,
I'm like,
dude.
I'm like, oh, that
Right
sounds,
on the spot?
That sounds better than anything I did. So like,
Badass.
fuck, that's
dude.
awesome.
Will, you fucking shisty bastard.
He's
you.
a machine.
He is a machine.
That's why he's
I
Will.
love that guy.
That's why he's Will Marvelous.
He is marvelous, isn't he? Should we take a listen to some tunes?
Sure.
What do we got? We've got the first Mordrot song is Casket Repossession.
This is one of the new songs that Nick sings.
Hey.
I'm trying to get him to do more because I kind of want to be one of. It's like, especially as us as a 3-piece, I like the dynamic of having the two vocalists,
Sure.
old school Carcass kind of thing. The two guys that do the different styles. So
I was thinking more Biohazard, but
I was
you do your
definitely
thing.
not thinking about that.
That's awesome. What's this one all about?
It's literally about being in debt and dying and still owing money after you're dead.
Oh, ain't that the fucking truth? And then your family fighting over what little shit you have.
Yeah, well, 'cause I did.
I wanted that fucking red marker that he used to carry in his pocket.
No, I used to. I did repossession for 8 years, and actually, my fiance Sabrina like put the idea in my head driving around in the car. And it's like, do you think if you can't pay for your coffin, they could take it back from you? And I was like, casket repossession. I think he gave me a song title. Like,
you go.
fuck yeah,
That's
dude.
pretty awesome,
Yeah,
dude. Giving her a shout out
Yeah.
for the fucking name.
I gotta give her credit where credit's
Hell
due.
yeah, man. We got some High on Fire. You got that one too, right, Nick?
Yeah. Rumors of war.
Yes, sir. And then we've got Person Herder. What's that all about? Tell me something, Mitch.
Person Herder is one of my other bands. Another 3-piece. And
Country band, right?
country. It's actually a boner metal.
Nice.
Yeah, it's our own genre.
Rumors of War? No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at something else. Manwich.
Yeah.
Nice. Tell me about Manwich.
Well, it's about eating people.
Awesome. I like that. It's a good thing. And then Neurosis. Who did that one?
Oh, I did that one.
Well, good.
I figured, it's winter. We need something slow.
All right. Well, let's fucking take a listen. Stick around, folks. We'll be back.
Stick
You're listening to Ritual Madness Podcast, episode 168, hanging out with the guys from Mordrot. We're just talking about cool clubs that we used to be drunkards at and all that other good stuff. And Brian came in Chinese. It was awesome, dude. You're Asian, Brian. I never even knew that.
Coincidentally, none of those clubs are open anymore.
I know. It's fucking ridiculous, too. Two really great clubs, too, man. Club Underground, or not Club Underground, but was it, I just had it in my head.
Urban Wildlife.
Urban Wildlife
Yep.
and The Quest. And, still can't believe that you never played A Quest for Mayhem. That blows my mind, dude.
Nope. Never.
Like I said, you guys were going strong back then, too.
Yeah, but we were still kind of the odd band out. So
Right.
we played with everybody, but we didn't necessarily sound like everybody.
Sure.
And so we were always a band that it's like we took what we could get.
Sure.
Because it's not like there were, you get on, those melodic dark metal shows. Oh yeah, all those bands around here.
Right.
So-
yeah, it's kind of one of those things too, man. When you're doing something just a little bit different, everybody. I know some people like it, and some people are like, I don't think it'll work, which is weird because at Quest for Mayhem's, it was fucking everybody playing that shit. You know?
There was no rhyme or reason to the bands that played that.
Yeah.
You know,
That was Jack Gilbert's madness right there.
yep, just good variety.
But I liked it. I mean, I've been very critical of how cliquey the scene is now.
Yeah.
And I liked it back then when it's just, who cares if you didn't like the other bands? Who cares?
Why
if
do you-
didn't?
why
It's
do
just
you
like, just everybody play together.
Why do you think that
you know?
it's that way? Why, I mean, because there's a lot
I
of
don't
people
know.
that because I'm very and I hate people get really weirded out by the word the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people get
Which one?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I kind of look
Well, you
at
know,
it.
and then it's like gent bands don't want to play with death metal bands, and
Yeah.
they're like a fucking hair off. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like there's some of the coolest shit out there between both of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like. Face of Oblivion or Invidiosis playing with, Reaping Asmodeia, you just never, ever, ever hear about it or see it. You know what I mean?
But it's yeah. I mean, I do miss that. I miss that old. It's just like I remember going to see like Ossuary playing with Spanbauer's band,
sure.
Sweet Addiction,
Right.
and Ginger Jake, and it's
Right.
like what?
Yeah, right.
I mean, that made no sense at all.
Sure,
but it's
sure.
like it was cool that it just whatever. Hey, not my thing, but hey, thanks for playing. I like that. So.
Well, the podcast has always been about every band. Like I don't shy away from anyone. I'll interview anybody or come and hang out with anybody. And what do you think makes it so cliquey and weird? Why do people have such a hard time and they throw up all these barriers? What is the
shows that they go to, maybe just, they know more people at them, and it's just kind of their.
I mean, what's even crazier is
Yeah,
that,
I don't
like
know.
some of them gent bands are they draw really fucking
Oh
well,
yeah,
man. It's like
and that's the younger generation. So that's when you can bring kids in their teens and early 20s to a show, like they're eager, they want to see
Right.
bands, they want to be part of something.
sure.
And then we just get fucking old and crusty and
grisly.
grisly.
What's crazy about that is if you're smart about your music, like say you just run into a Reaping Asmodeia and you're like, holy fuck, this band is awesome. I know us back in the day, we would find that one band, and then you would find where did these guys come from, what bands, and you would look back at the catalogs of maybe the bands that they were in, and then you would take and go, well, how did this band get to where they are? What was that style that changed them to this particular moment? And I would always research. Like say I was really into Carcass, and that was my band. I'm listening to Carcass, and someone says, "Hey, Morbid Angel or Unleashed or Deicide," or I'm naming all these old death metal bands, but in my opinion, when you look at these fucking bands like this. They all came from all of that old shit. It all derives from all that old shit.
Right.
And to me, I think that young people don't do that enough. They don't go back to the stuff that spawned this new generation or what they see as a new generation. For us, it's just like rehashed shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Guys that are musicians. So
That's what I was wondering too. Is like, is there just a shorter attention span
Right.
these days with
Right.
with the younger crowd, or I don't know. Maybe it's just when I was younger, I definitely had a shorter attention span.
sure. But
Well,
I mean,
that could be it,
even
too.
even if I didn't find a band, like say, if like nowadays you can play a death metal or a metal video on YouTube, and then they'll play, or like Spotify or Pandora or something. You put in one band, and now it's playing all these similar
Yeah.
bands that are in that vein. There may be 10 fucking bands that I'm like, I'm just not into that shit. But there's one band or 2, 3, 10 bands again that are fucking right up my alley, and I'm like, oh, I got to check these guys out.
Right.
That's why I like doing what I do here, is because I love when people bring in stuff that they listen to, and maybe they can encourage other people to go, hey, I better go check that fucking band out. You know what I mean? Like, it boggles my mind that people put up these barriers and you get so much separation in such a small area. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you want to play with, as many bands as you possibly could and make friends with all these people? Because who knows, man, that band could break up and, where'd this drummer go? Or, Mitch gets sick and you need a drummer and you got a good show coming up. You could possibly find someone to fill in, but they're like, no, I won't play with that. And it's fucking retarded to me. And I hate to say that word, but it seems to me just like mentally not, it doesn't make sense to me at all. It's like, why wouldn't you want to fucking network and be a part of something bigger than just your band and in the 5 bands you play with every single weekend? Or,
I think part of it is just people are just getting old too.
No, the funny thing is
getting old.
Getting old, and it's just kind of like, you slowly start to understand why all the other people your age, the only shows they go to are when Hairball comes to their suburb.
Right.
It's kind of like you don't want to do that,
right?
But you kind of get it,
right?
Where it's just kind of like, well, I could drive down there.
It's, when I was younger, super open minded, and then I started hitting my late 20s. I'm going, death to false metal, and became one of those freaking elitist pricks for a while.
Sure.
And then, I finally get into my, I think it was with this band, with Mordrot, or Mord Wolf, when we started. When I started to kind of relax and chill out a little bit and just be like, fuck it, I don't care anymore. Like, if Gent's going to be the popular thing, then let it be the popular thing. I played nu metal.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that was popular when I played it. Right. So it's like, there's things evolve. Yeah, things evolve, things change.
Well, not only that, but if you notice, a lot of those types of I don't really want to say like clicky, but it's like nu metal, where they're very defined and era defined.
Yeah.
And then like gent era defined. If you notice, a lot of those bands, they all eventually start playing heavier stuff.
Yeah.
And start playing better stuff.
Yeah.
And at least start trying to do it. It's just kind of like, so it's like, well, we may think they suck now, but they may be playing in a really kick-ass, black metal band in 5 years, and we just don't even realize it.
I know, but see, that's the point to me. Like, how do you not see a progression for you as a musician? Like, why would you want to limit yourself? Because you don't know which direction you're going to go. You may just fucking be David Vincent and make a country album.
Jeff Walker made a country
album. Exactly, dude.
Besides the records that
you didn't know that?
Yeah. Welcome to Carcass Country.
Yeah.
Carcass Country.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
I never heard it, but I heard
before Carcass got back together, that was kind of like the them talking again thing, because I think Bill might have guessed it on one song or something like that. But
it's just so crazy to me, man.
Maybe
it is because I'm old.
I hope he named his banjo solo.
Some medical term banjo solo.
Excruciating, excoriating.
So I did this with Brian when he was in here doing the Cold Colors thing. I always ask, what you guys were listening to as a kid. Like, what were your parents listening to? What were your brothers and sisters listening to? What kind of pushed you in the direction where you are now? So Nick, what were your folks listening to as a kid? What was going on in the house musically?
Oh man, God, the records before they came back. No, there's a lot of Elton John, Harry Nilsson, a lot of 70s stuff, Leonard Skinner. My dad really liked George Thorogood.
Right.
So I kind of was accustomed to rock and roll.
Sure.
And then I started listening to Cool 108 because I was playing oldie stuff, and I loved 60s and 50s rock. Like, love that stuff. And then the weirdest thing happened, and I discovered the LSD era of the Beatles.
Right.
Magical Mystery Tour and Sgt. Pepper is like hugely influential on me getting into rock music, and Faith No More, and then Weird Al Yankovic. And then one day I was watching MTV, and then this video for Enter Sandman came on, and I was like 13. I was 13 years old, but it was something that was like, oh hey, that's different than what I listen to, but I like it. It's heavier. It's freaking. There's some shouting going on. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's when I discovered metal, and so yeah, it was of course Metallica, the first thing I ever played on guitar, and
now even with that. Okay,
Yeah.
so you hear Enter Sandman. Did you immediately gravitate to the Black Album and then go back to the catalog and go, holy fuck, I missed all of this other shit?
Dude, it's exactly what happened. Got the Black Album, I mean, I literally recorded Enter Sandman with my boombox put up to the TV off the video, and then dubbed it over and over and over and over again so I could listen to it nonstop. And I got that album for Christmas, and then started hanging out with the Headbanger kids in junior high. And they're like, "Oh, have you heard Master of Puppets? Have you heard And Justice for All?" And I'm like, "No." And
Dude,
like,
that's where they go, oh!
yep. And exactly. So he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna dub you And Justice for All." And freaking, I remember getting the tape at school and then going, "Oh, I can't wait to get home and listen to this," And I get off of my friend's bus stop. We go to his house, and I put in the cassette in his mom's stereo, and it was, I don't even remember, it was like halfway through the album because it didn't rewind it all the way, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I got to go home. I got to go home and listen to this. Like, I can't just sit here. I'm like, I got to go.
Yeah.
Went home, rewound it to the beginning. Blacken starts coming in. I'm like, then dun 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 dun
Yep.
dun 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 dun. I'm like, whoa, this is way different than Sad But True and Enter Sandman. I'm like, all right, faster, heavier.
See?
This is what I like.
This goes back to the conversation we just had. How the fuck do these kids who show up at these shows, that when they click up with their whoever, I'm not just saying Jen, I'm just saying in general, any younger person that goes to these shows, any metal show, and sees that one band that they're loyal to, and they go to every single one, and these big crowds show up, because you go to one death metal show and there's nobody, and then you go to another one and there's a few more, and then you go to another one, and then it's like fucking huge, or somebody hears one, Nile or whoever, what other huge death metal band or whatever heavy band that you're listening to, they see it. What makes them not do what you did? Why is that? What the fuck?
Who knows? That's up to the individual.
Right.
That weirdness
Figures it out. That's all I'm saying. Figures it out. So after that, you went to the Black Album, and then you went beyond.
Yep. Then it was Injustice for All and Master Puppets and Ride the Lightning and Kill 'Em All, and then Megadeth. Freaking.
Right. So then
Rust in Peace.
After those, so the big four that really stick out as well, because obviously those are the ones that we all gravitated to. You know what I'm saying? What was that next band that pushed you even further out?
That Sepultura.
Yeah.
Sepultura Rise.
Yeah.
I was seeing the video for Dead Embryonic Cells on Headbangers Ball and went, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
So that, and then my cousin bought Pantera, freaking Vulgar Display of Power, and I was like, because I had a friend that played me Cowboys from Hell.
Sure.
Before that, and I was like, I don't like that. It was still a high pitched singing, and the guitar sounded weird to me. I didn't want to hear, I didn't like Iron Maiden back then. I didn't like to hear that falsetto stuff.
Sure.
And and then like, oh shit, freaking Mouth for War, this is awesome. And then hearing Arise and Dead Embryonic Cells, and then freaking Morbid Angel, and then Entombed comes in, and Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that.
Sure.
But in the meantime, I'm still listening to Nirvana. But it's good, man. Variety, gotta have it.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. How about you, Mitch? What were you listening to as a kid? What was sparking your interest as a kid? Or
not a lot of music really when I was a kid. Just whatever was on the radio. My mom had a tape of 50s music.
Sure.
Like Mr. Sandman.
Yeah.
That was always in the car,
Right.
and otherwise it was just whatever was on the radio. It's kind of surprising that I got into playing music and got into music as much as I did. I guess in grade school and early junior high, I started getting into Rat and Bon Jovi and Cinderella and Striper and Dawkins and the Scorpions and
all of those bands. That was
whole
it.
thing.
That's exactly where I started. So
So that was happening thanks to friends.
Sure.
Because I don't know if I really would have found it myself. Even though I watched MTV, I didn't care that much. I mean, I was like Howard Jones.
Sure,
I really
sure.
liked Howard Jones.
Sure.
But that
I
was
still do.
actually.
And
just
no,
made
we're not
another
talking
Howard.
about the kill switch engagement.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No.
What?
No.
There's a false Howard Jones.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
Damn it.
No one is to blame.
Actually, I think Howard Jones rocked the headset mic too.
Yes, he did. He was one of the first ones, I think,
Yeah,
dude.
because
Maybe
in
he
the
invented it.
He had
'cause I
the
remember
big,
dancing
the
around
big
going,
bulb on there, dude. You know, the big windscreen on there.
Right, the telemarketer.
Yeah, yep. Hi, this is Howard from American Sighting.
things could only get better.
He's going all in with that shit.
I love it. Mitch and I don't have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Except for like
Burnsville.
loving stuff like Billy Ocean.
Yeah.
It's just like there's just this soft spot for that stuff. It's like I hated that shit in the
Yeah,
80s
yeah.
when it was playing, but now I put it on and I just kind of go, yeah. You know what? Screw it.
Yeah.
I love Billy Ocean.
Embrace it.
Right.
Embrace
I
it
don't care.
fully.
You know, it's just like, you know, you push it back and you hated it back then because you
Yeah.
were an 80s metal kid and you're like, no way, man, this
Dude,
stuff sucks.
70s
You know?
like Little
No,
River
man.
Band, dude. I hated shit like that, dude. But the other day I was in Wendy's eating and a fucking Little River Band song come on. I go, that's fucking Little River Band. I fucking I hit the app that tells you what it is,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like,
Shazam.
that's fucking Little
Yeah.
River Band. I'm like, I like this shit. I'm gonna have to fucking check
I
this
have-
out.
That
again.
presses that nostalgia button because
yeah.
like when you're a kid you didn't like
Yeah.
it, but then you start thinking back, you're like, okay, I like
Man,
this.
I didn't have to worry about a car, bills, fucking none of that shit. It was like, you know, bubble gum and fucking.
My
you know,
Dare to Be Stupid tape.
Hell yeah,
nice.
dude. So, Mitch, which way did you start going after the hair bands and stuff like that?
To punk rock.
Yeah. What was some of the first punk rock stuff that you were listening to?
Circle Jerks,
Yeah.
Dead Kennedys, Black Flag, the stuff you could find at Music Land
Wonderful.
or whatever.
Circle
Yeah.
Jerks Wonderful was one of my, it's still one
Yep.
of my favorite fucking albums to
It's
this
an American
day.
heavy metal weekend.
Love that shit, dude. Man, it's so
We're
fucking
rocking with
awesome,
Dockin'.
dude. Hell yeah, making the bombs and killing for Jesus and fucking wonderful for sure, man. You know?
Wonderful.
I seen them at First Avenue and they played that shit and I was just going crazy in the pit. It was awesome.
Nice.
Hell yeah, Circle Jerks, that's great.
They're responsible for one of the coolest moments in cinematic history.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Oh yes they are.
Thrashing. Right when Corey drops off the girl, but then the daggers come after him. All of a sudden you hear this, wild in the streets, wild in the
yeah.
streets. And it just has this ominous, and then it goes, wild in the streets, run. It's just cinematic greatness.
See my I thought
Josh Brolin when he
forgot
was a
about that.
teenager.
I
yeah.
thought you were talking about Circle Jerks being the lounge version of the Circle Jerks and Repo Man with Emilio Estevez.
Oh, yeah, dude. That was pretty awesome too. Weren't they just pitting like in the corner or some shit?
Yeah, they're just like, I can't remember. They had like the stupid freaking like blue tuxedos on and just kind of like up against the velvet curtain playing freaking.
Yeah, Thrashing had Red Hot Chili Peppers before anyone knew who they
Wow,
were.
dude,
And
I'm gonna have
if
to
you
go
go back
back
and
to
watch
that
it, you're
shit,
like,
dude.
damn,
Wow.
dude.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that shit,
Yeah.
man.
They're
Cody
the
Box,
band-
help me out here.
They're the band playing at the party that they go to.
No shit.
It's Red Hot Chili Peppers playing.
Wow. I think
All
I
right.
remember that, but I don't remember it. It's weird.
Back to Mitch. Back to Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch. So from there, after that,
I don't know. During that stuff, I was getting into all kinds of shit. You know, it's when you're trading tapes. So
Yeah.
I'm listening to like shit like the Sisters of Mercy, but then I'm also listening to like Weird Al, and I'm listening to this other punk rock stuff. And then I find Cryptic Slaughter. And then I got really into that kind of crossover-y stuff like Cryptic Slaughter and DRI. But then and then like the peace punk stuff like Crass and Conflict and then it just kind of went crazy, and then I got really into crust, and then my whole life was just crust, and everything else just kind of went away, and I didn't really listen to a lot of metal for a while.
describe to me crust.
Bands like, I'll just generalize what I was listening to, like Doom, Extreme Noise, Terror, Axe Grinder, Deviated Instinct, Amoebics. Those were like probably the main bands I was listening to, and that's all I was playing, and my whole world was just kind of, you know, cheap beer and crust, and it was a happy place.
Yeah, right.
What about Ass Suck?
And Assuck. I get to be on a compilation 7-inch with
Yeah.
Assuck, actually.
That's badass, dude.
Fuck yeah.
I love how he's so nonchalant about this. Fuck yeah.
It's like, yeah, I played in some pretty influential.
Don't fucking say it.
I wasn't gonna say the band.
Just shut up.
All right, now you got to tell me.
No,
He won't.
we don't need to get into that.
All right.
I don't know. And then after a while, I just kind of got
Just shut
sick of. I don't know. I just started kind of opening my mind a little bit more, and just kind of relaxing about the being too punk rock thing. And
Yeah.
now, I mean, this list we wrote down, there's not even really any punk rock or metal on there.
Yeah.
My yearly thing that you check on Spotify
Sure.
was like the only genre of music that it had on there was electronic.
Wow.
Even though I thought I listened to a bunch of other stuff, but apparently not.
Wow, that's crazy. So how did you get into playing drums? Was that your primary instrument, or did you have other things that you were doing?
I actually wanted to be a guitarist, and then me and my buddies all got a band together, and we sort of overhired guitarists. It was like, everybody.
You're good. Come on, let's do
It's
it.
just like, let's all do a band, okay? And there's like 6 of us and like 3 guitarists. And I was like, I guess I have to be the drummer. So my friend Mark Jensen, who Brian probably remembers, I made him teach me how to play drums, and weird ass chair. And so, yeah, my first band was with him, kind of. It was like at the same time as he was teaching me, and I had my other band going. I had a band going with him, so it wasn't really on purpose.
Sure.
I didn't think I'd be a decent drummer at all. And,
Right.
I mean, after all this time, I think now I'm decent, but it took a long time, and it really wasn't my plan. I was
Sure.
just going to be a guitarist, just playing power chords or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, it just kind of fell into my lap, and I stuck with it.
Nice.
Think if you had gone with guitar, your shoulders would be in tip-top shape.
Probably.
Now, Nick, I kind of skipped over this one with you. How about you becoming a guitar player? Were you like a cello player or anything before?
No,
Tuba?
I didn't. I never thought I'd be a musician. I remember trying to play a recorder in, I think, 4th grade. And everybody's like learning Mary Had a Little Lamb. I did not understand how to make notes happen, but I had 2 friends that lived next to me. Both of them started playing guitar around the same time.
I
and was
thought
like,
you were about to just say, my friend showed me how to play that recorder, and now I can fuck that recorder up.
Like, yeah, fuck Ian Anderson. I'm way better. Check out this Jethro Tull cover.
Watch out, Zamfir.
The pan flute, master of the skin flute. No, but then, I'd see those 2 guys walk in front of my house with their guitars, and I was like, fuck, dude, I want to play guitar. Like, I like this music. I want to, I want to hear distortion and freaking riffs and shit. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to play what they're playing, and bagged. Like, finally, the end of 8th grade, go get my first guitar.
Nice.
And then I just
What was your first guitar?
Ibanez RG 550.
Still got it?
No, the fucked up thing is, like, I didn't realize it was a really nice guitar when I got it.
Yeah.
Bought it used at Schmidt Music.
Yeah.
It had a cracked neck that had been repaired, but I used quotes with repaired. It was a piss poor repair job. And so I just had this thing sitting around my house, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to play it. The 2 guys that I was friends with they were pretty novice too, so they couldn't show me shit. And then I ended up bringing the guitar back to get repaired and getting set up, started taking lessons, and it still just didn't click with me. Like I don't get this shit. And then I cut my fingertip off on my fretting hand and had to have that sewn back on. When I first
do that?
Stupid, not being safe with a knife. And then my guitar teacher freaking he was like, I was like, I'm never gonna play guitar, freaking my fingertip, blah blah blah. Then I read an article on Guitar World with Tony Iommi about his accident with with his shit, and I was like, well, fuck, mine just got sewn back on, like whatever, I still have it.
Sure.
And then so I was gonna quit. My guitar teacher's like, no, man, I'll just teach you picking techniques and stuff. So I just sat there for like 4 weeks while my finger was healing, just going back and forth on the strings, like learning alternate picking. And and getting faster and faster and faster. And then finally, one day it clicked, and I was like, "Hey, I want to learn how to play Enter Sandman."
Sure.
And then I did it. I just fucking did it. I was like, holy shit! I just all of a sudden I understood it, and I just kept. And then I couldn't stop playing. I couldn't put that guitar down.
Right.
But then,
what'd you learn after that? Where'd you learn that whole album?
Yeah, it was like that. And then Wherever I May Roam, and fucking Sad But True, and Unforgiven, and blah blah blah. And you got the tab book, you know. Like, we're gonna learn how to play everything in there. But yeah, then I think after that, then I was like getting into the older Metallica, the faster stuff, and like trying to play that shit, and just kept progressing. And then the rest is history. Then I sold the RG 550 and got the fluorescent orange Charvel that I still have that guitar.
Would you ever go back and get that Ibanez just for nostalgic purposes?
Yeah, if I could
what color
find
was it?
It was black.
Oh, okay.
But it was a Japanese-made Ibanez. It was nice, really nice guitar.
Yeah.
That was the pinch harmonic dive bombs one, right?
No, that's the Charvel. Was the pinch harmonic dive bomb guitar sitting in my room, emulating Dimebag Darrell doing dive bombs and harmonics. But I still got that Charvel. I mean, I've had that since I was 15. I'll be 40. Yeah, I got it.
Old balls.
Yeah, 25 years in April. I've had that fucking guitar.
Jesus Christ! How many guitars do you own now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like Rob Carlson amount of guitars. Sure.
Or fucking Paul Johnson?
Yeah, no, not like that. Oh, yeah, I got a few. I mean, I got my Gibson Flying V that I still won't sell to Rob if he's listening. The SG, and then one of Earl's Jackson Y2K Vs, and Trevor. I don't know.
How'd you end up getting that one?
I ended up buying it from Nancy when she finally was like ready to start partying with the more personal stuff.
Sure.
She put a post up about selling it. I was like, listen, I got to have that thing. I was like, I'd love to have. I didn't have the money. I was like, if you can wait 2 weeks, I'll get you the money. And forego paying bills. I just took every penny I had and was like, there it is. I'll just worry about the rest later.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Paid for the guitar, and we had some late payments on other shit, but it was all right.
Worth it, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Brian, how much gear you have? Well, you've got to have a few different things, don't you?
Yeah, two basses, and then a couple acoustics, and nylon, and electric acoustic, and then how many electric guitars do I have? 5?
I'm gonna say 8.
No, I think 5.
Okay.
Yeah, 5.
You asked. I was just throwing the number out.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you added my other guitars to it, I think it would be about 8. But yeah, I think 5 guitars. Which
Keyboards, anything?
Yeah, I got a keyboard that just kind of just sits there in a electronic drum kit that I don't do anything with because the only drum throne I have sinks. And I'm tall, and so when I start playing it, it's like, this isn't working, and it won't stay up, and so I just go, screw it.
Your shoulders
I'm not
are
going to
on
bother
fire.
getting another one. This one doesn't work, so I'm not going to practice these.
Mitch, how many drum sets do you have?
Kind of 2, like shell sets, but one I just kind of have this shitty pieced together thing. I've never really had nice drum gear, but I make it work.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Cymbals? How many cymbals do you have?
I have 1 pair of hats, 1 china, 2 rides that I use as crashes, 1 big ride that I use as a ride. Let's see, 1 more tiny china that I don't use, and then probably about 8 broken crash cymbals that I'm planning on turning into art projects at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of extra stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a nice ride cymbal. And the hi-hats are nice, too.
Mm-hmm. I got the ping ride.
Yeah. 22-inch.
Yeah, I think Nick found it for me on Craigslist. Didn't you drive?
Yeah, I had to drive you. That was before you got your license. I had to drive you to go pick that thing up after practice.
I remember that now. Yeah.
Now you guys were jamming in another band together, right? Before?
No, that was after. No.
Okay.
That was... Yeah, because we moved out of our practice space and then joined up with Mitch's other 2 bands with the Spies and Person Herder. And then, God, is that also when Warplague came into? I don't remember.
They came in later.
Oh, that was later. So there was 3 bands, 1 drummer, all sharing a practice space, and then Despise they parted ways with their bass player, and then bitch asked me to fill in. I thought I was just gonna fill in. I'm like, I didn't have shit for bass gear. I had a Squire bass.
Yeah,
No.
you used my amp for your first show.
Yeah, but I had to use Brian's bass amp for first show. I borrowed Vern's bass amp quite a bit for stuff, but somehow made it work with that Squire and beat the piss out of that thing, and just put a nice pickup in it so it sounded all right.
Yeah.
And then I finally was like, oh shit, I guess I'm actually a bass player in this band now. I'm like, so I had to, finally bottled.
They just didn't ask you to leave and shit.
No, I was just like, hey, your tenure's done, you got to go. So I ended up buying a nicer Gibson bass and freaking, bass stack and shit like that. So I had real gear.
Right.
So, it's fun. I like playing bass, dude. It's chill. It's nice to have the writing left to somebody else most of the time. It's
Sure.
like, all right, cool, I'll just back you up.
Writing as a 3-piece now. How is that different than a 4-piece before?
Honestly, I don't know if we have anything that we've written as a 3-piece. I think it's
Yeah.
all stuff we've kind of had before.
Sacrificial Fires is 3-piece.
Oh, okay.
And Casket Repossession, that's all done as a 3-piece.
Oh, okay.
Super
Well,
hot.
then I'll shut up.
Yep. Yep. Everybody does that too.
No, it's kind of I was a little weary of it at first because I'm like, oh, it's kind of we have the guitar harmonies and it kind of sounds cool, but I've grown to like it a lot, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of like it makes everything so much easier being 3 people instead of 4. It sounds like it wouldn't be a big difference, but it really is.
Yeah.
And it's been nice, and we've been so relaxed with it, and it sounds right.
Right.
When we play, we have
Oh,
the
yeah.
right sound, and just something about it. It
Yeah.
still sounds full. It doesn't sound like a 3-piece.
Yeah, we ended up, because we tuned down, because the first demo, when we were 4-piece, we were all tuned to C, and then when we went down to 3-piece, I was like, screw it, let's tune down another half step and tune to B, and see if we kind of, add a little extra girth into it, and
girth.
That'll work.
There it is.
I love that word.
I'm a man of girth.
As you're grabbing your microphone, I love that word. Okay.
I love that word.
Thanks for the visual, man.
Ryan, thanks a lot for putting me in that situation there. I appreciate that very much.
You put yourself there.
I did. Really, I did. What? Let me see here. Well, we should listen to some more tunes. We've got Sacrificial Fires right now, right?
Yep.
Tell me about that one. Or you already did.
No. That one was. It's basically a song about. It's one of my many anti-religion songs, and basically the sacrificial fires are. Basically, I'm just talking about burning the stupid tradition.
Yeah.
Of
What do you burn besides
organized
witches?
religion,
More
so-
witches.
I mean, that's all it pretty much is about.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's just like with
Why
lyrics
are
in
you
this
so
band, it's so.
anti-religion?
Well, I don't know if we want to go.
I'm not so much anti-religion as I'm not pro-religion.
Something like
sense. That
something
makes
like
sense,
that.
dude.
No. I just straight up. I just think that all of the majority of the world's problems all stem from religion.
I
It's just
100% agree with you.
It's just after a while, it just gets sold, and especially with the way America is right now, it's just like religion is rearing its ugliest head again, and I'm like, this is the shit. That
All
just,
kinds
like,
too.
Oh my god!
Organized.
And I just-
Organized religion is just all of it.
It's just
Religion-
It's time to move on, people. It's time to further the human race.
Do you find
rather
do you
than-
find yourself in situations where you go, "Oh God," or "God damn it," or "Jesus," or you say something like that, and you think, "Why the fuck would I even use that in my vocabulary?" Because I
grew up with it.
That's exactly what it is. It's been forced into our being as little kids. You know what I mean? Because then your parents and then their
Oh,
parents
yeah.
were all, it was all
religion.
just jammed.
Religion is all a chance.
Yeah,
Community chest.
right.
It's just something. It's like it depends on
You
where
won
you're
a beauty
born.
contest.
Yeah. It
Contest.
depends on where. It's all just where you're born.
Right.
If you're born here, you're this. If your
Yeah.
family's this, is that. It's
Right.
all So it's like
It's just
like
madness.
it's like a penis. We all have them. Just don't wave them all around in front of everybody. It's kind of do your thing. If your religion's your thing, that's fine.
Some people
but
are
just-
into that though.
Some people, some things that just need to be burned. And
Right.
that's basically what the lyrics.
Was that my
are
phone
about.
that went off?
I have no idea.
Mine didn't light up.
All right, let me see here. We got some bolt thrower after that. Tell me about some Bolt Thrower. Give me. I mean, what do you?
Well, when we started doing this band, myself and Vern, our old bass player, were doing a one-night death metal cover band.
Yeah.
And the first song we covered at that was Bolt Thrower, Fourth Crusade.
Nice.
So it was kind of, I picked that song just to kind of be symbolic of,
yeah.
that's kind of what started the talking
Yeah.
for this band to become what it is. So.
I don't think I ever had a chance to see Bolt Thrower.
I got to see them in that last one when they just played down in Chicago. They played
wow.
2 shows. I finally went down there. It's like I couldn't. It was like me and Brian Owens just giddy as hell because him and I are like from the same era.
Sure,
and it's just kind of
sure.
like Bolt Thrower was that mythic band for us that
Yeah,
always
dude.
canceled when they came to Minnesota.
yeah.
Like they canceled 3 frickin' times
Yeah.
and never played here.
Yeah,
And it's like
that's-
I
I don't think I
have to
ever
see
saw
this
them.
goddamn band. And
Right.
of course now they're done.
Right.
I'm like, well, now I'm
One of
really
the
glad
members
I went
died,
down.
right?
Oh, the drummer
Yeah, the
passed
drummer.
away.
But
He
he
had a
actually,
heart attack or some shit. Or?
yeah, something like that.
Weird. How dare he? How about the Weakling? Well, tell me about Weakling.
I forget how I actually found Weakling. I think it's a fairly well-known, like, American black metal band nowadays, and I believe this is the only sort of release that ever happened, and it's just their demo. I don't know a lot about the band members or anything. I'm not the kind of metal nerd that you guys are. Right. I don't research everyone's middle name and shit.
Birth
It's
date.
just, it's, I just. I
He was born in April. I know it. No, dude, it was March. I swear to God.
His blood type is O positive.
It's, I don't know. It's just some shit that I love.
Awesome. And then Cold Colors. Where'd you guys hear about those guys?
Ugh.
Oh yeah, they're the odd man out band. I never put them on any of my gigs because I don't know if anyone's gonna like
I thought they were going to play Quest for Mayhem, and I used to go there all the time, and they never played. And
There was always rumors,
Yeah,
weren't there?
yeah.
There was always rumors they were going to play one, but for some odd reason, Jack would put them on the guest list, but he wouldn't put them on the stage. Weird.
That's true.
That's fucking weird. Jack, if you're listening, you're a fucking
Never got
weirdo, mang.
Yeah, they were better
And
before
shit.
they cut their hair off.
You lost their hair, you mean? No, just kidding.
I lost my hair off.
That's my hair. Okay.
All right, let's take a listen to some tunes. Stick around, folks. We'll be back. That was it. That was the last one. Hey, what's going on there? How's it going? We're back. This is Ritual Madness Podcast. What happened there?
Brian's confused.
That's not the end of the song.
Oh,
Like
it just-
halfway through it.
It just stopped.
Yeah.
It just stopped.
All right.
No, that's what I.
Okay.
Son of a bastard.
Way to go, man!
Weird.
You cut it in half. It's like it says 3:46 here, and it just stopped.
Oh, it's not 3:46. That song's like 7.5 minutes long. Okay. Anyways.
Oh, well, welcome
Weird.
back. That was kind of a weird situation there.
Okay.
That was cold.
Yeah. Cold coolers. Yes, very cool, man. Sorry about that.
well.
It wasn't my fault. It was Mitch's fault.
It may have been something. He emailed me the track, so something happened in
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
somewhere in there it got goofed
I
up.
never listened to it.
I
I would have noticed it cutting. off
blame
the browser.
just blame Internet Explorer.
Let's do
That's
it.
because that's the browser I use.
Oh, there it is.
It's my favorite.
That'll do it.
That's awesome, dude.
I even use it on my Mac.
Damn, you're old school.
Going old school.
That might be my. I'll get the vibrating machine off the table.
So in between the last break or so, I asked these guys. I gave them a sheet of paper and a pen and asked them to list 5 bands that they can't live without. And Brian is a master list maker, he said, and had. You were saying that you like to make lists and you
Yeah, I
have
do.
different angles to go by. So was it hard for you to do 5?
Yeah, that's why I did 6.
That's okay. Honorable mention. There you go.
I had to. Well, yeah. I was like, but then as I was up there and you were talking and I heard you say something about The Cure and I just looked over at Mitch. I'm like, oh damn, I forgot about The Cure.
Right.
It's like, shit,
we
it might have to
looked
be
at each other
7.
like,
It's like, damn it,
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, dude. That is a band that's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yep.
I really like that band. I've always liked that band for some reason. There's just there's an eerie sadness to them. I don't know what it is. It's like a happy sadness.
I like the variety. Is one
Yeah.
of my favorite things about them. Is
Sure.
like nothing they do sounds weird.
Right.
It's like they do something and you kind of go, yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, of course they're doing, that in this song,
Sure.
Why not? And I like that because they're one of the few bands that can do that and
Right.
get away with it.
How difficult was it for you, Nick, to come up with the 5 bands?
It was tough because I swear, like you could ask me to do this again next
Yeah.
week and it would be completely different.
Right,
So,
right.
but I just went with what I was thinking of at the time. So
Yeah.
it'll work for now.
And then Mitch, you were talking about Spotify, that you have different stuff on Spotify and that you've changed a whole bunch through the musical things that you enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff I've been listening to, it's all just through Discover
Right.
on Spotify, and
Yeah.
it all stems from one thing that I decided to listen to one day, and it kind of gets you.
Yeah.
I like how it gives you different options, like because you listen to
So and so.
Cephalic Carnage,
Yeah. Right.
or at least because you listen to Dead Can Dance,
Yeah.
it'll switch it up for you
Yeah.
enough. But yeah, man, I've found so much crap, and it's all
Yeah.
so much of it.
I love that shit, man. I think that's so killer, man. I wish that was around when I was a kid instead of making the
Oh, yeah.
mixtapes all the time.
Yeah.
Man. How much shit we would have discovered so much earlier,
That's like
we had Earl Root.
Yeah, right. No
Right.
shit. No
or
shit, man.
even more so. I don't know if you were the same way, Mitch, but for me it was Northern Lights at Cobblestone Court.
Oh yeah,
That
dude.
too.
It's like that. It's kind of like that was our.
Yeah.
That's where we got everything. And
Yeah.
It's like it was literally. I mean, that was the story where it's like going through. Oh, it's on this label.
Right.
You'd buy, I mean, that was
Yeah.
back in the days
Yeah,
where
you
you'd
go by
look.
label.
You'd go by label.
Yeah, dude. I beat it to death on this show
Yep.
so many times, but that was one of the main things that I looked for was either cover art, record label, or word of mouth or whatever. And I always loved being that one guy in your group of friends to find that fucking gem band, and you're
Yeah.
like, dude, you have to listen to this. So that first Deicide
Yep.
was like that for me. Like nobody ever even knew what the fuck that was, and I stole it because of the artwork, and I put it in, and I was like, and I was. All my friends were like, "Holy shit!" Same with, when my one buddy had Slowly Rerot, and we I traded him Flotsam and Jetsam, No Place for Disgrace, I think it was, for that Obituary Slowly Rerot, and it was mangled like halfway through, so it'd give little crunchies to it, and it would spit out, so you'd have to twirl it back in with a pencil or whatever, and so. I listened to Slowly Rerot, and I was like, this is the worst garbage I'd ever heard in my entire life, dude. And then Cause of Death came out, and I was like, holy fuck. I have one of their other ones. And I went back and I was like, wow, I love this shit. It was just one of those deals. And the cover art was amazing, you know, so.
It had to simmer in your brain for a while,
Yeah.
and you kind of revisit it, and you're like, oh, fuck, dude, I do like that.
That's what I love about the resurgence of vinyl, too, is that giant picture, you know, and pulling the record out and being a different color and, you know, all the cool shit that they're doing nowadays with the vinyl, and I just love it. I've got a small stack going over here, and, you know, it's you know, just gems. One of my buddies turned me on to a Miles Davis that fucking what is it? So what?
Blue?
So what?
Okay.
So what? What is it? Kind of blue?
Kind of blue.
Yeah, I think it's kind of blue.
Kind
yeah.
of Blue is like big in the
Yeah,
when he was
like
when he was
50s.
doing when he was doing the old school
He's
jazz
with
before he
Coltrane
got the
and
acid
Cannibal
stuff,
Adderley. Yeah, so that was I got into that album. I listened to it a lot. Like if I'm just playing video games or doing something, I'll throw in that shit just to go have ambience in the background, you know. And it's like I saw that in Barnes and Noble, and I'm like, I gotta have this album. And my wife's like, I'll buy it for you, you know. So it was. I just started picking up all these albums, you know, like Kiss Love Gun, and then I picked up, you know, my buddy. This is a great fucking story. So my buddy, my guitar player, Bill. So it goes, oh, you're getting into vinyl? Well, I got one for you. My neighbor gave it to me. It's I don't know. I think it's a Cannibal Corpse or something. He said the cover. It's all black. They condemn the cover. They ban the cover or whatever. And I'm like, Tomb of the Mutilated? Or which one is it? You know? And I kept asking him, and he's like, I have no idea. So he brings it. It's fucking Carcass Recaputurification. It's like 500 made of this one album.
Holy
it's
shit.
Fucking, it's got a poster in it. It's got fucking all this shit. And he hands it to me. He's like, here, just have it. And I open it up and I go, holy fucking shit. I don't listen to that shit. I was like, holy fuck. You know, puke green fucking vomit green album. And that was like the fourth album that I got. I think I got Yes, Fragile, Banded Gypsies, Jimi Hendrix, Love Gun, Robin Trower, Bridge of Sighs.
Oh, that's a good fucking
and
album.
then I got that Carcass album, and then from that on, I've just been pulling gems out here and there. I found Deep Purple. It's like the first series of Deep Purple. It's what an amazing fucking album. And I was looking on Discogs trying to find it, and it was, you know, $40, $50, $60, $100, whatever, you know. And I go to Cheapo down the street, and I'm just fingering through their fucking, you know, new arrivals, and I see the cover, and I like passed it, and I went, hold on a second, I've been looking for this album for a fucking month, and holy shit, I paid like $7 for this album that I just love, you know. So with the resurgence of that, I love the whole cover art thing and the lyrics and all of that other stuff. So let's get to your guys' lists. Who wants to start? Go ahead. Anyone? Bueller.
I'll go around the room.
All right. Let's see. I put Anathema.
First one. Then you go the first one.
Oh, my first one, Pink Floyd.
They'd be my 10 if we did 10.
Neurosis.
All right. So tell me what made you pick Anathema?
They are my go-to band when I just need to chill.
Sure.
I mean, not even just kind of that. Like, I mean, they started off like a doom death band, but then like turned into more like a modern version of Pink Floyd. And there's just something about they make me feel good.
Right.
It's weird. It's like their newer stuff just kind of has that euphoric, like,
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
So
yeah.
I need bands like that.
Right.
You know.
Right. The
Kinda
soothing
to get me out of it type bands.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
and actually draw me in type stuff.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It's kind of escape, man. Dude, I miss the time when you could have a set of headphones and time to yourself to actually do that type of shit, you know? And sit down and listen. I mean, fuck, I had a Walkman every day at school. I mean, I was always listening to music, and I love that aspect of it where you get into that specific album. It can take you away from every day and bullshit and kind of put you there. Go ahead. What's the enjoyment of Pink Floyd?
Oh, see, and that's a nice segue going from Anathema, and they're no, but that's the same thing as it's going back to high school. It's one of those bands that I've continually listened to, and like didn't tire of it for a couple of years and went back to it. It's I've always listened to Pink Floyd.
What was your first Pink Floyd song you ever heard?
First, and on the radio with my dad in the truck, it was Money, and I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I still don't really like that song,
Sure.
which is the funny thing. But
They just killed it.
yeah, and then You know, the funny thing
If we turned on 92, you'd probably hear it, right?
right, yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Okay.
I just love the lyric part.
Yeah, the lyrics are
fucking
great
awesome,
in that song, and but yeah, it's like that radio overplay stuff. But then it was in high school meeting the bass player for my first band. Started playing "Wish You Were Here."
Yeah.
On vinyl. And that's what got me into vinyl.
So
when I
you're
was
really into Avenged Sevenfold, is what you're saying?
yeah, absolutely. And then that's when I was like, sometimes I don't know why we'd rather live than die. That was me quoting Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah. Hey, it's a joke, haha. No, but yeah, Wish You Were Here. Just all of a sudden, I was like, I was hearing something different by Pink Floyd. I was like, fuck, this is cool. It's really chill. And then I listened to the whole album, and then you hear, Welcome to the Machine and freaking Shine On You Crazy Diamond and Have a Cigar, and I was like, yeah, this it was one of the. Yeah, it was one of those things where you could sit down and you listen to the whole album. You could have it be background music. You could completely get lost in it.
Sorry.
Oh, dude, that's great though, man.
Yeah.
Then I saw Roger Waters this past summer, and
How was that?
Amazing. They played Welcome to the Machine live too. It was like, fuck, dude, this is great.
Dude, I had a chance to see them. It must have been mid to late 80s, maybe early 90s. When they came and they had the fucking flying pig and all this other shit going on. I had a chance to see him and I didn't go because I was
and they 90 Division Bell, so 95.
94 was the Pulse tour.
Yeah.
it might have been. It was
That was at
before.
Metrodome.
It was before that. Maybe.
Oh shit! So yeah, you'd been a real young pup then.
Yep. Yeah, my buddy had an extra ticket and I didn't go with him, and everybody's tripping on acid, and they all came back and they're like, "Dude, you fucking missed out, man." Son of a bitch.
Do they still do Laser Floyd? Is that still a thing?
No,
Okay,
at the planetarium or something.
Yeah, I remember that
Oh,
being
God,
such
I love
a
that
big
shit.
deal
Yeah.
back in the day of
Yeah,
people getting
I always
stoned and
heard
going to
about
Laser
it.
Floyd.
I never went.
Neither did I.
I did.
I went to the planetarium for other stuff, but
Yeah.
never. No, I think I did see one Floyd once. I saw they did a wall themed one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always the thing. People, yeah, man, I'm gonna get super stoned and
go to Laser Floyd.
Yeah.
Or trip on acid and
I just
watch
didn't
the
know if they
wall.
still
I
did
sold
that.
I sold 10 hits of acid in the fucking the planetarium while it was going on. These dudes were like, "Hey man," I was cutting it with the scissors right there in the fucking place. It was retarded, dude.
Dude, that's a good business model right there. Like, I'll get rid of this stuff quick.
Yeah. Go to Laser Floyd.
You're really gonna
Stand
enjoy it.
outside, yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, then Neurosis, what was the
I'd never really heard of them before I happened to see them in the entry.
Yeah.
Back in whenever that was.
Damn, in the entry? That must have been
It was
amazing.
in like 89 or 90. We just, whenever possible, would go to whatever show
Sure.
that was possible in the entry back then. And I thought they were pretty badass.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they don't have a bad song. They don't have a bad release. It's just one of those, I don't know.
Right.
They're just solid
Yeah.
all around.
I seen him with Clutch at fucking the Quest.
Nice.
I was like, this is the most Mitch Mash shit ever, but they killed it, man. They were fucking awesome.
There was a couple shows at the Quest with Neurosis that were weird. There was one in '99. It was Neurosis, Hatebreed, and Soulfly.
I think I was at that one.
That
too.
was a super mismatched show, and it was a fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Or at the Mirage when it was Motorhead and Neurosis.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, damn.
I've just seen them twice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So those are all bands that you guys would definitely have in your 5-piece category. Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome. How about number 2? Go ahead.
For number 2, I chose Sentenced.
Sentence. Oh, there you go. How about you, Nick?
I picked Dismember this time around. I'm gonna switch it up a bit.
Ooh, there you go. How about you?
I put Massive Attack.
Nice. And why Sentenced?
Because I love them. No, they're one of those. A lot of my favorite bands are former death metal bands that kind of branched out and did stuff. And them, I mean, I heard them the North From Here album originally, which is just like, really chaotic, melodic Black Death type stuff. And then they came out the next one and they kind of had like almost rock and roll, snotty, drinky sound to it. I was like, what? And then the next album they just turned into, and there's something about them. They're just so unbelievably catchy with their later stuff. It's just like I can always be in the mood to listen to a Sentenced album. It's like he was saying, with Neurosis. It's just like with Sentence to me. It's just like I don't have to be in a mood. There are not a lot of bands that it's like some bands where it's like I like them, really not in the mood to listen to them right now. I could listen to Sentence at any given time.
Those two bands that you just named really kind of explains a lot to me for like your Cold Color stuff.
Yeah,
the transition and how you've changed your style and mixed it up more. That's pretty damn cool, dude. That is somebody sticking to the what they like. That's cool, man. That's real cool. I dig that shit.
Yeah, I do. I do wish I liked some more bands that were more popular in America, though, so I could actually see some bands I like sometimes.
Right.
I never got to see Sentenced.
Right.
They toured here once.
Yeah.
And never came through here, and I didn't go when I was in Milwaukee. And
fucking
but
Milwaukee
now they've
just seems so close.
and now they've been broken up for 13 years. So.
Right. Well, they'll get it back together and they'll play
the
Cleveland.
main songwriter guitarist is dead now,
Oh,
so
no.
I don't think it's happening.
Oh, that might hinder a reunion.
Yeah, for sure. It's like Dimebag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Dismember, maybe for some obvious reasons, but no, it's one of those bands too. And me being a couple years younger than these guys, I didn't get introduced to the Swedish death metal bands until they started doing their death and roll stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Entomb doing Wolverine Blues and then Dismember doing Massive Killing Capacity. But I first heard Dismember on a compilation on one of the Death is Just the beginning ones, and Justifiable Homicide was on there, and there was just something different about it than the other death metal stuff I was listening to, and I was like, fuck, this is cool. And I delivered pizzas, and I would listen to that song, and then replay that song, and replay that song, and replay that song, and I was like, but yeah, and there was something different to the guitar sound than all the other bands. Everything else was like super technical and tight and freaking. And here's this really loose, heavy, freaking bassy sound, and so fuck Dismember. And that's that's the other thing. They started out as a very influential Swedish death metal band. Went to the death and roll type stuff. Got back into their death metal roots, and then when they their final release in 2008, I mean, it was one of their most freaking heavy, well-written albums, and it was just, they ended with a bang, and they're fantastic for that. And
the last time they were here, there was barely anybody there.
Oh,
It was
and
so
isn't that
depressing.
sad, dude?
yeah, but Fred Espy is there. There's been some reunion whispers and stuff, so
You might get lucky.
Might see
That dagger experiment didn't go well, I guess. I wanted to like that so bad I did, because it's David Blomquist and Fred Espy. It's like I should like this, and Oscar, the bass player that they're with, and I'm just like listening. I'm like, I can't. I don't get it. I'm
I
sorry.
just need David Blomquist with a freaking HM2 pedal. Like that's a necessity.
What Massive Attack was that yours?
Yeah, Massive Attack. It's I don't know. I really like the songwriting and the mood that it's like really kind of repetitive sometimes.
Sure.
And kind of like Godflesh or a lot of the other stuff that Justin Broderick does. It like after a few minutes you realize it's kind of been just the same thing over and over, but there's just little changes, and I don't know. I really like that, and there's a lot of that, and there's a lot of different kind of moods and kind of ethereal stuff, and different guest vocalists, and I don't know. I really like the mood that Massive Attack lays down for me. I really feel it, and even though it's just not really I don't know what it would be like live.
Yeah.
And I don't really care either. It's just it really it moves me, man.
Sure, yeah, man. I like that. That's a good way to put it. I dig that.
It moves me.
It really pumps your nads.
I like it. I like the
That's
Justin.
what I was looking for.
I like the Justin Broderick reference too, because I love fucking Godflesh. I love Godflesh. They're fucking great. I haven't heard. There's a new one, right? I haven't heard the new one.
A couple of years old.
I haven't checked that
I thought they
out yet.
just released something.
I thought there was something. Something
dude.
like new.
Yeah, new.
Like it was like 2 years ago or something. What is it?
Those who were once loyal. Oh wait.
Those ones. Okay, talk amongst yourself about something else while I be the research guy.
Yeah, I got to see.
up
I got
there.
to see Godflesh on the Grand Crusher tour at Varsity Theater back in the day.
Napalm and Nocturnus.
Yeah, dude, it
Holy
was
shit.
so amazing. Oh my god, it was amazing.
I missed that one. I hadn't
Street
gotten
Cleaner.
into death metal yet.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't let me in because I was too drunk.
Oh,
geez.
did that show? Oh god, it was so
I was
fucking
so
awesome.
bummed. I was like, oh my god.
Oh dude, it was fucking killer. It was great.
I think
show.
Carcass was originally supposed to be on
there,
that
yeah.
tour, but there was like the usual Carcass visa bullshit.
Yeah.
Always the fucking visa issues with the
I got to
European
open
bands.
for Carcass.
Oh
That was
yeah, you're
fucking
right.
Great.
There is a brand new
one,
this
dude.
Year posted. I was talking about A World Lit Only by Fire, which was 2014.
Yeah.
I didn't know they hadn't one this year.
Yeah, I just
All right.
heard about it. I haven't heard it yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to check that out for sure. Number 3, what'd you do for 3?
King Crimson.
Nice. Yeah. How old now? What that band's pretty fucking old, right?
Oh, yeah, like I think Court of the Crimson King came out in 69,
Damn.
68, 69, somewhere in there. Yeah, because
I'm gonna be the odd man out. I think here is I don't think I've ever listened to King Crimson, like, to my knowledge.
without King Crimson, there would be no Tool. That is very, very, very. It's kind of and even Tool will tell you that, and that's
Really?
why I'm like I never been. Yeah, because I remember them going out, bringing King Crimson out with them on tour on a West Coast tour, basically saying like, so if you like us, here's where we got it.
Wow.
You know, and it's kind of, I mean, which is very. I mean, when you listen to it, you can totally hear it.
They've been
so.
doing it since the '60s. Huh?
Yeah, but
Wow.
they're just a good. I mean, they kind of have different eras. Like in the '70s, they had that kind of cool prog identity, but then in the '80s, when they came back with Adrian Belew, they added a melodic side to them too, which is just. And I think my friend in Burnsville, he played Discipline for me. That was the first album that they heard, and it just hooked me because I'm like, what is this? You know,
right.
because it starts off with Elephant Talk, and I was a Primus fan at the time, and so it starts off with Elephant Talk with the bass, and it's just like, what?
Right.
And so I had to listen to it, and then it's just I listened to the rest of that album, and it's just like there's something about them that they hooked me. So they're just
Oh yeah, dude! In the Court of the Crimson King, like that record's fantastic. And it's still there's a lot of melody on that too, especially with like Epitaph and
Greg Lake.
fantastic.
See, I
Because
feel
Greg
like I'm the
Lake
odd man
sang
out.
on their first two.
You'd probably really like that.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote it down. man. As soon as we were talking about Massive Attack and you used the Justin Broderick fucking reference, I was like, I'm gonna have to check that out now.
Think Jesu, not Godflesh.
Okay.
Oh, it's my turn. As not previously mentioned, but Neurosis. No, wait. Yeah, that's my third pick, but kind of in line there with Mitch on Neurosis. So.
Oh yeah. And you picked the song for Neurosis
Yeah,
today too, right?
Sovereign, off the Sovereign EP.
Nice. Then it goes to Michigan.
Fever Ray.
What is that?
Fever Ray is the solo project of Karen Anderson that was one of the 2 members of The Knife. It's more kind of electronic stuff.
Huh.
She just has 2 albums out and a few other miscellaneous tracks at this point, but I can't live without it.
Wow.
I love her voice that much.
Huh. What style would you say? Anything you can relate it to?
Nope. I mean, it's not, groundbreaking. It's just, I don't know, really moody shit with beautiful vocals. The first Fever Ray album is like super effect-laden vocals, but it's kind of, I forget what the name of I think it's a pedal. It kind of, you can hear her normal voice, but then like a super low version of it, and then like
An octave or a
kind of
polyphonic octave generator type thing.
It's cool as shit.
Nice.
I like my music moody.
There you go. So you can feel it.
Yeah.
I like that. Number 4?
Faith No More.
Oh shit.
Just wondering when that was going to show up.
What now are we talking Chuck Mosley days too?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. I mean, the Patton stuff is better, but I mean, the Chuck, stuff. I was able to go back and listen to it
Right.
afterwards, more, and could kind of appreciate it more. But yeah,
That's how I was too. I heard. I think The Real Thing was the first one I heard,
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah,
then
same.
I went back,
Yep.
and then back again.
yeah. I remember for a while, like to get the album "We Care a Lot," like you could get Introduce Yourself everywhere, but to get "We Care a Lot," nobody freaking had it. And I
Right.
found it at Atomic Records in Milwaukee. Finally.
Yeah, I saw it.
But
saw it,
yeah,
so I
it's
picked
just
it
like
up.
and just it's like they've always kind of been up floating around, but the fact that they put out an album a couple years ago that is absolutely worthy of their discography, and I was like so weary on it. I'm like, don't do another album, don't do it. And they put it out, and I'm like, you shut me up.
Right.
There you go. I concede. So, and it's like and then I finally got to see him live a couple years ago in Chicago. So,
dude, I saw him for the very first time. So I heard what was at the Sacred Reich show, watching Sacred Reich. And fucking Phil from Sacred Reich is running around, being silly, doing whatever. And he brought up Faith No More. And he's like, we're all kind of like, huh? It was like a group of us, 5 or 6 of us, and we're all talking to him. And, Faith No More, Surf Nicaragua, blah, blah, blah. And then he brought up Faith No More. And his eyes, just the way he fucking talked about Faith No More, he's like, if you ever get a chance to see him, you have to go see him. Like 2 weeks later, they were at First Avenue with Babes in Toyland. There was like maybe 75 people in the whole fucking room, dude, in the whole fucking room. And they played the Real Thing album front to back, nonstop. And I was just like, holy fuck, man. And then MTV took that shit and just fucking off they went.
That's where I was, because I saw the Epic videos. I remember me and my friend at the time where it was like, we had heard about how they were friends with Metallica and we were big Metallica fans. And so we heard about Faith No More and we saw the Epic video and we were like, what the hell is this crap?
Right.
Like this rap rock? I'm like,
I loved it.
It's like, what is this garbage? And then it's like, we were mad. I'm like, this is the band we were supposed to hear? Yeah. And then we heard like the rest of the album and went, okay. All right, now I get it. And like just hearing Zombie Eaters and the song The Real Thing.
What fucking song is that when he's like, when he's talking about you're everything?
Zombie Eaters.
Wild. Dude, that fucking song, dude, just fucking crushed me as a kid. I was like, damn. The dude just had depth. I don't know what it was about the lyrical content. It was just fucking awesome.
Singing a song about how annoying babies are.
That song drove me nuts learning how to play it for the cover show.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think someday I'm going to get really into that. It's just like someday I think I'm going to be like a tea drinker. Like or no, seriously, or like Dylan. I think I'm gonna get into Dylan someday. It's just like someday I'll get into Faith No More. Someday I'll drink tea.
You know what, man? I'm one of those cats though.
Someday I'll be into Maiden too. Right. Maiden's fine, but someday I'm gonna be a Maiden guy.
Right.
Like I don't know when down the road.
Dude, I've done that so many times in my life where people are so into this and like. Fucking, dude, you got to check this out. And I'll buy the album and like, okay, what track are you talking about? And normally I'm not the guy to follow the track, like what people want to listen to. I'm always the guy who will start from the beginning and make my own judgment from there. And there's been times where I bought albums, dude, and I've shelved them and just fucking, put them in a box and fucking years later, I'm like, oh man, I haven't heard this in a long time. And then just smacked in the face, like, and then you go back and you buy everything they ever fucking created, and you're like, well, why did I not get this? I'm there with you, but the whole tea thing took me for a fucking loop, dude. It's like all of a sudden you're gonna go, man, I could really go for some Earl Grey right now.
Some bergamot.
Mark my words, someday I'm just gonna be like some fucking crazy tea drinker.
I think I should start smoking a pipe.
I think I would look good with a pipe.
That's fucking awesome, man. That is so awesome. What is so you said Faith No More, then where are you going?
Townes Van Zandt. A little singer-songwriter, hippie country guy from the late 60s, 70s. Guy it was one of we're talking about Pandora and like Spotify Discover where you listen to something and then you get the suggested stuff, and I have a Masters of War Bob Dylan station on Pandora, and Townes Van Zandt kept coming up, and I was like, man, this guy's got some freaking pain. Like these songs come, there's a lot of love songs and a lot of just kind of silly songs, but there's a lot of songs where you tell this dude is fucked up, and it's like he's hurting.
Sure.
And and then I started finding out that there's all these bands that I like that really love Townes Van Zandt.
Yeah.
And then to the point where Scott Kelly and Steve Von Till from Neurosis did a cover album.
Wow.
And then Wino from Obsessed and all that. They all three of them did an album covering Van Zandt songs. And I was like, holy shit! Like this he's like the songwriter type dude. But talking earlier,
Isn't that super intriguing?
Yeah.
When you see that the people that you really admire, all of a sudden they're really into this one dude, and you're like, okay, there's got to be something there.
Yeah.
that I'm not picking up on.
Well, there's songs that all these big country singers like Waylon and Willie and Johnny Cash and all they all knew Towns Van Zandt. Like Poncho and Lefty, I always thought was a Willie Nelson song. Sure. It's a cover of a Towns Van Zandt song,
right?
And Willie's version makes it seem a little bit more upbeat. You listen to Towns' version; it is a very
dirty,
downtrodden, dark song. You're
right.
like, "Fuck, dude, this is good shit."
Right.
So yeah, that's one of those. I just really respect the guy, and doesn't even have like the greatest voice or anything, but he's an incredible lyricist and songwriter. And highly recommend that.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out. What did you say it was? Towns Van Zandt.
Towns Van Zandt.
Van Zandt. Go ahead, Mitch. What do you got there?
Radiohead.
Radiohead. I got a buddy who is a huge Radiohead fan, and then I saw, what is that, 40-Year-Old Virgin, where the dude goes, you know how you're gay, that whole thing, and that was the whole, between him and I, were because you like Radiohead, but he is gung-ho Radiohead, will fight you on the drop of a dime for Radiohead, so that's the band for me that maybe I will become a tea-drinker.
Yeah, Radiohead fans are pretty rabid. I'm not like a super fan of
Sure.
of anybody. I don't like I said earlier, I don't memorize the band members or anything like that. But Radiohead's always stuck with me. They're kind of, again,
They're
just
super moody too, right?
Story of my life kind of stuff. I've just been listening to them for forever, and I can always trust that each new album that comes out I'm gonna fall in love with, and
Nice.
it happens. And yeah, they're
See, well, like Brian said with the last Faith No More album, that was one that it kind of hit me. Like I was like, I don't know if I like it yet, And I think I have a lot more. What is the one with the wolf on the cover, the red and white?
Oh, the motherfucker.
Red and white with the wolf. No, it's
King for a Day.
King for a Day.
I thought you were talking about.
I was like, about
I didn't
that,
like-
dude.
see, I
and
didn't
that
like-
grew on me fucking
Yep.
a lot.
I did not like that because I loved Angel Dust,
Right.
and when I heard King for a Day, I'm like, where are all the keyboards? Where's all the
Right.
all the swing stuff?
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
it took me a while to get into that
Sure.
album, and then I got into Album of the Year and went back King for a Day and went, okay, now I get it. Now
Right.
I'm getting into it. So
Now with Radiohead, what is there an album that you would recommend right off the top of your head that would spark somebody who has never been a Radiohead fan?
Man, I wouldn't know where to start somebody off. I guess throw Kid A at them.
Yeah.
I'd say okay, computer.
I'd
Okay,
I'd say the
Computer.
Bends.
Okay,
And the Bends.
Computer, obviously.
Yeah, and that's kind of where you don't want to say it because obviously, but it is a really good record.
It's probably my favorite record of all.
You know what's-
time. Fuck it. Okay, Computer.
Yeah.
You know what's
It's so
funny?
good.
Without a
Now,
doubt.
is that the one that has like some of their more notable stuff on it?
Karma
or-
Police and was the video.
You're thinking
and,
of Creep.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
from Pablo
ba-
Honey.
That's from Pablo Honey.
Okay.
We don't talk about that.
Dude, see, that's the funny thing is like that's the stuff that I liked by Radiohead.
it-
Dude, I really
it's not a bad album.
That is actually a song that
I don't
came
think
up
they have
in
bad
a
album.
playlist that I had, and I was like, God, I fucking love this. And that I do know that one song. That's
Right.
it.
It's different from all the rest of their stuff.
Yeah.
It's
But-
just this.
What I was gonna say about Radiohead fans, like everybody I've known that's really into Radiohead is either also a metalhead or way into punk or both.
Right.
Like you think of Radiohead as being kind of a little out there, and maybe in the early days thought more of like an indie type band. Like you'd be into indie rock and love Radiohead, but I didn't know people like that. It was always people like me that really liked Radiohead.
Right.
It's kind of like that one time when I went and saw Tori Amos and Decker came walking in. And I was like, really? I was not expecting that, dude. And I was just like, all right. Yeah, I remember it was at the State Theater. He just comes walking in with an incantation black mesh hat or something. Like, rah, 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 rah. And I'm just like, huh, all right. Well, I mean, that's cool. I mean, it's great. I just did not expect to see that. Of all the people I would have expected to see at a Tori Amos concert, it was
What
not
was that
Decker.
Radiohead album you were just talking about? The one that.
Okay, computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Computer.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so then we got the fifth one, right?
Oh, yeah, we're still talking. We're going to get some music pretty soon here, right?
Yeah.
My final one would be Cocteau Twins.
Oh, yeah?
I
Look at, he's like bravo on that shit.
Mitch approves.
Fuck yeah.
Cocteau Twins.
If he was a tea drinker, his fucking pinky would be up. Like, just.
I don't. They are.
Cheers, bitches.
Nothing closer or nothing more than they're an anomaly.
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand what it is about them that I like so much. Their lyric. Elizabeth Fraser does not write lyrics. She just mumbles stuff to what she's saying and kind of puts just random things together, except for like the first album.
Some
on
of my
Garlands.
favorite Massive Attack songs have her
Elizabeth
on
Fraser.
vocals.
Yeah, the biggest Massive Attack song, the one from House, has got Elizabeth Fraser. I can't remember what that one's called.
I like how Mitch
don't
raised
watch-
his hand. He was
Oh.
like,
I want to
me, pick me, pick me.
But no, I just
So
when I was 15, I actually went into rehab when I was in high school, and when I came out, somebody that I was hanging out with, who I was in treatment when afterwards, like played Cocteau Twins for me, and I don't know what it was like that ear perk, like what is this? You know, it's like this is so strange, but it is so. There's this etherealness about it where it's like. This past spring, well, I suppose now it was last spring, I had a massive anxiety attack and nervous breakdown where I couldn't sleep for days on end.
a massive attack.
There you go. Nice.
And it was Cocteau Twins that like
Such
I was able to like it's like I was trying to find something to find sleep, and I put in Heaven or Las Vegas and well, yeah, it was. It was Bluebell. No, I tried Head Over Heels, but that one Head Over Heels is a little dark for it. But yeah,
Dude, you were like the fucking subliminal fucking whammy right there. That was it.
that's funny. Like
But-
what you're talking about, you know, when you're going through your anxiety and breakdown stuff. Like that's what Pink Floyd The Wall for me, and Wish You Were Here in high school. Like got me through that whole like, wow, I'm a pretty fucked up kid right now, and I need some help. But that's how I slept. Like same thing. I couldn't sleep and shit.
and Cocteau Twins were that band for me. It's like now I listen to a lot of stuff, but Cocteau Twins were that band in high school where metal, death metal, Cocteau Twins. They were that
Cure-
one
The
band
Cure was
that was
like that
just
for me,
like,
too.
yeah, it was like they were that one band that's like, oh, and them.
Yeah.
And it's like people would listen to them and they're like, I don't get it. And I'm like, there's something about them.
Yeah.
That I cannot live without. So, and I hate myself to this day for not going to that. The last time they came through here on Four Calendar Cafe at Guthrie, and I didn't go. And then they broke up, and they're done.
Right.
They're never getting back, and it's just kind of like I can't believe I didn't.
Right.
And then there was a second chance because they played like at Lollapalooza when it was just in Chicago, like right before they broke up. And that was another thing where it's just like I can't believe I'm never going to get to see them.
Wow.
And it's just like, oh, it kills me.
How about you, Nick? What do you got?
The last one, the only one where it was a band and the album, but Nirvana, Bleach.
Oh yeah, you talked about that.
Yeah, but that was the one that I think it was 8th grade, hanging out with my cousin, and that's when Nevermind came out, and he went to go to the store to buy Nevermind, and they were sold out, but they had Bleach because all of a sudden there was a interest in the back catalog, so he bought that and hanging out playing video games, listening to that album, going, this does not sound like what's on the radio.
Team Spirit, yeah.
Yeah, like this is heavy, this is dirty, like shit's tuned down, freaking C sharp, drop C sharp and stuff, and this a lot more screaming and squealing and feedback and distortion, and just like, all right, simple songwriting but heavy. I mean, then I read years later that album was heavily influenced by Celtic Frost and Slayer. Like those guys are listening to that shit and then wrote Bleach.
Wow.
And then became megastars on an album, on Nevermind after that, which is kind of crazy, the progression of it. But it's still to this day. I fucking love it.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. What about you, Mitch? What do you got left?
Godspeed, you Black Emperor.
Godspeed, you Black Emperor.
Yeah.
Nice. What is it? What is that all about?
It's instrumental stuff, experimental, kind of noisy, again, really moody, can be at times really anxious, and at times just extremely like sleepy and heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, just really gets me in the feels or whatever.
Right.
And I get to see them 10 days before my birthday this year.
Nice.
I never thought I would see
Here
them.
or?
Yeah, they're playing in the main room.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm very.
I saw that on my
looking forward to that.
suggested event because Mitch was going.
Oh yeah, I heard about that, and I bought tickets so fast that I was press
Take my money now.
press my fingers straight through my phone.
Right.
I had to look up the origin of the name of that band like a while back because I was like, what a fucking weird name. But it was a book, wasn't it? It was about a Japanese motorcycle gang or club or some shit like that. Black Emperor was like, Godspeed you, Black Emperor. But yeah,
Originally, the Godspeed you ! You Black Emperor.
yeah. But kind of interesting, backstory to the name and the origin of it was pretty neat.
And that's stuff you've heard as well?
Just a little bit. Like I said, that was the name that kind of made me more curious than anything to actually kind of check it out, which was cool. And again, like something like that, like we were talking earlier about album covers or band names and things like that. Like, even though it's a weird, I guess, a weird band name, an esoteric band name, like you'd really have to know your Japanese motorcycle history or something to. But I don't know, it was fucking cool.
I've never actually looked up the name,
Yeah,
so
it's pretty interesting.
Oh, good deal. Well, let's listen to some music because Brian's about to punch one of us. No, maybe not. But Condemned Undead, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Yes, that's one from our original demo when we were Mordrot in 2012, remastered now. It's
Nice.
a song about zombies.
Nice.
It's a song I wrote from watching a bunch of Walking Dead and going, wouldn't it suck to be a zombie and to be completely aware of what you're doing?
Right.
And that's what that song's about basically like, I'm a zombie, I'm feeding off everything. I don't want to do this. I don't want to feed off people. I want to end it and everything.
Right.
I decided, I don't know. It was just
That's
one of those
awesome.
things like watching Walking Dead. You're like, huh, I wonder if they ever feel remorse for eating brains.
they're just trying to survive like
I
everyone
know.
else.
Yep.
But I just thought it was kind of interesting. I thought it was a kind of interesting aspect to be in this personal hell of you constantly having
Right.
to kill people even though you don't want to.
You want to be at
You
like
just force-
Shaun Undead or
Yeah.
whatever that
Shaun of the
fucking
Dead.
Yeah. Shaun of the Dead.
So
yeah.
I guess that's what the lyrics are about in
Nice.
that one.
Despised. You said, don't ask us because we don't know. So we're just going to say it's Skinned, and you can kind of get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me and Nick's other band.
And how long you guys been a part of that deal?
Shit, I joined that just a year and some months after Mord Wolf started.
2013 then.
Yeah, so I'll be 5th year in the band coming up this spring.
As a
And then
fill-in bass player?
As a fill-in bass player.
Nice.
Yeah, Mitch,
Do you
when did
think
the
they
band
hired you?
start?
It's probably about 7 years old now.
So are you sure they hired you now?
Yeah, I think I'm part of the band, at least.
Or are you like that guy from Bon
He's
Jovi that you
listed
don't
as a
know who he is,
member
but he's always
on
playing
the
bass?
Bandcamp page.
Oh yeah, I'm listed as a member on the Bandcamp page, and I think it might actually be official on Encyclopedia Metallum, but he can't click on it because they don't recognize it as a metal band.
Yep.
So, but it's mentioned in there.
Yep.
Nice. Nice. And then what you said, Martyr Dude.
Martyr dude. I don't know, whatever you saw you say it in Sweden. But the
Martyr Dude.
little just crusty, moody, freaking hardcore punk.
Nice. Nice. And then some good old rigor mortis.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking tell me why you grabbed the rigor mortis.
Because I fucking love that song. And it's got my favorite guitar solo of all time.
All time. That's pretty fucking bold, dude. All time. That's
It brings a
hardcore.
tear to my eye every
I
time.
don't know, I'm
listen to it.
excited.
Let me get some tissue for you real quick before we get to that one. All right, folks, stick around. We'll be back.
Let's
I think that I actually witnessed a true eargasm right there for a second. Mitch, I just saw like, come hither. What do I hear over there?
Yeah, I was doing the Hulk Hogan ear and just trying to shush everyone. Try to let me enjoy my moment.
Dude, I just saw Brian. We were kind of talking. I just see Brian look over and go, like, just stop. Or that was like the cue to shush. It was like, huh?
It's the guitar solo part. Quiet for a second.
That was a fucking eargasm, man. If your ear was a squirter, this place would be fucking wet.
I'm gonna need Nick Kolzicki to transcribe that for me.
Oh yeah, my birthday is coming up. End of March. I want tablature for that tattooed across my back.
There you go.
What does your back tattoo represent?
You know how to play guitar? You know how to play guitar? Then you understand. If you don't, I'm sorry, I can't describe it to you. I'll have to
Play
kill
this
you.
on your dulcimer.
On your banjo, dude.
What is that, like, third song in Sinister Slaughter, Macabre, where they do it, da-na-na, but then this guitar solo comes in, it's like, and it's just like,
That's jazz influenced phrasing, man.
Hell yeah.
but it's just so completely
Like,
ridiculous.
it was actually a secret guest spot by Frederick Thorndahl from Meshuggah.
Nice.
No, it's just like these scales over and over. It's just
You're
dumb.
just interjecting that just to do it or what?
No, because you listen to a Meshuggah solo. It's obviously not sweeping, but the phrasing is so weird and choppy, which is I kind of like it because it's not fluid with the music, and so I like that interesting kind of
That's why I can't listen to Meshuggah.
jazz guitar phrasing type shit.
You know Rick Fisher, right? From the plays with Nuisance right now, the drummer.
Yeah, I know he is. I don't think I've ever met him.
Talk to him about Meshuggah, dude. You guys, he'll fucking blow your mind with the whole drum theory thing about Meshuggah, and he gets so into it, and it's just unbelievable. I just sat there in awe, like him talking to another drummer, and the other drummer going, "Yeah, man, like fuck, I totally fucking know what you mean," and he's just like. But the way they syncopate the rhythms and then, he's just fucking going crazy, and I'm going, God damn, dude. It sounded like Japanese to me, but I was so intrigued to go.
Okay, you remember Tim Radswell from Crom?
for
Like,
sure.
dude, yeah, if you get him talking about Meshuggah and frickin' Rick Fisher, I bet like I can already see that conversation because Tim gets a bit excited when he's talking about stuff.
Yeah.
I could see that talking about. Oh yeah, but he's keeping the 4/4 with the splash symbol, and then while he's doing this 7/8,
You just did his neck thing that he does too when he's all excited. He gets like, that.
Oh, I learned that from jamming with them.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you jammed with us that one.
I really wish that would have panned out.
That's right.
And the only reason it didn't is because Tim didn't want to play out. Now I was just like, I wanted to get into something again that was just something different, and it had it was you and Tony playing guitar, him playing drums, and Lance playing bass, and it was like it had all of the makings to being something unbelievable. And Tim was like, eh.
I know it sucked, dude, because like Tim had these ideas and using some kind of weird syncopated riffing, but then also keeping things simple and kind of sludgy and heavy, and God, it was fucking cool. And I know Tony Metz still has the DAT tapes of some of the little room recordings and shit. But man, that was fun. Like it had the makings of being something pretty.
Dude, the
fun.
day that we jammed, Lance and I must have smoked so much fucking ganja, dude. I remember that one, he had like a lazy boy chair that was down there.
Yep.
And I fell asleep in that lazy boy chair probably 3 times that whole day because we were so fucking chopped. I was just in a coma, man. And then everybody showed up and we're kind of like improvising, and you guys had all been jamming together. So I'm like, odd man out, and I'm going, oh, what do I do here? Like, I want to do something really cool to like make sure these guys want to jam. And we kind of came up with a few ideas, and then Tim was like, he just shot it out of the water. And I love Tim to death. And now, dude, I wanted to jam with him for so long. And I mean, you and Nick and Tony and Lance, and it was perfect. And it just never materialized. Dude. I was so bummed.
That was a huge bummer. Like I was super stoked about getting that thing fucking going. And
yeah, I think that would have been really cool, man.
But I think too is Tim was still having sour grapes about the whole playing shows and
Yeah.
kind of bitter about shit from the past. And like, cause now, when he moved to Phoenix and like he
Did
plays.
you see his birthday post just the other day?
I must have missed that.
He's hanging out with a fucking drummer from Sacred Reich. They're all partying. In
Yeah,
the
of course
same
they're
room
all in
together.
fucking Phoenix.
Yeah,
Yeah, because then he was playing drums for his kids' band.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's fucking
Don
awesome.
Tinsley came back from going down there to visit. And
Yeah.
like that kid is unbelievable. He said he's just a fucking maniac.
I remember him. I remember when Joey first started sitting behind Tim's kit when he was like 6 years old, and then Tim would freaking call me drunk. He'd be like, "Listen, Joey, play double bass." And he was a 6-year-old kid, and of course Tim's got 2 bass drums. He can't just have, double pedal. And I hear this 6-year-old in the background. I'm like, fucking cool, dude. That was neat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. So is there anything else you guys would like to touch on? Is there or anything coming up? How can people get a hold of the material that's available now? Or
We will be having a CD version soon. In the meantime, we're going to get it up on the Bandcamp page. I believe it's just mordrot.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, I think like I said, talking with Will, and the official CD release date through Zero Budget is going to be January 26th. But then I got
for the physical copies.
Yeah,
right?
physical copies.
Now this is just going to be like a 6-song EP or what?
No, actually going to put the 6 songs that we recorded with Will and then the 5 songs previous, all remastered.
Oh, nice.
So it's a full length.
Yeah.
It's 11 songs, just 2 different. So it's kind of like Scum,
Right.
where it's a full length, but it's 2
Like
different.
us on Facebook.
Oh yeah, look at the Mordrot
The
on
Book of
Facebook.
Face.
Yeah, the more people like us on Facebook, the more we might actually post stuff on our Facebook.
I think we are probably one of the worst bands at self promotion.
Oh no, you're not. You ever heard of a band called Blue Ox?
Well, maybe.
Those,
Could
those
be.
cats are the hardest to get fucking a hold of, and it's like one of them will get a hold of you like a month after you contacted them to play a show, and then you have to set up another show 3 months later. So they actually will. Okay, so let's set a date. January of next year. Cool, we'll be there. What time? And then 2 of them will show up, and then the rest will show up right before they go on.
Well, how'd that work out that us and Blue Ox ended up on the same Lee show then?
I don't know.
That's amazing.
That's
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, they're fucking pretty. I love that band. They're
Yeah.
fucking awesome, dude. They're so much fun.
I love Dennis's Facebook posts. Some of the most absurd shit is fantastic. Just follow him. It's funny.
Yeah, very cool fucking band.
Like
dude.
him on Facebook.
Like Dennis Hansen of Blue Ox on Facebook.
That's awesome.
All right.
All right. So what else do we got?
Well, right now we are talking with this jolly fella about
Jolly.
setting up a CD release show for it. We don't have any shows booked right now because we're kind of on hiatus for
Right.
2017.
2017, and now you're ready to
Yeah,
punch
we'll- now we're re-
2018 in
now
the
Yeah, we might squeeze 2 shows out of us
Yeah.
this year.
We might now. It's kind of one of those. It's like, well, we have a CD to sell now. Let's.
So you got to hit the tour circuit, the
I
festival
don't know if
circuit.
we're going that far.
I
but-
thought you said you guys did the festival circuit.
Yeah,
for fucking
Northeast Minneapolis Death Fest, South Minneapolis Death and Punk Fest, Rochester Death Fest, Albertville Outlet Mall Death Fest, Brainerd International Raceway.
50 bands all on one thing, and
Yep.
everybody's got to sell 2 tickets.
Everyone's got to sell just 2 tickets, so it's easy.
And then to top it all off, you message one of the guys setting it up to going. So is there going to be a backline for this? And they respond with, "What's a backline?"
Can I?
The show's going to be awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but the sound guy who's doing it wants you to have all your layout for everything. Like, what do I need for mics? And that the guy who set it up doesn't know shit about anything.
Tyler from Dick Kicker offered to let everybody use his Behringer cab. You don't want to use that.
That's fucking hilarious. When you get there and you're just like, I can't even imagine for you guys that play instruments and shit, or playing on somebody else's drum kit when you're used to it being set up a certain way, and you can't just go, all right, I want to remove this tom, and I want to turn this here, and fucking this goes to 12, and fucking, you know what I mean? And they're going, oh, okay, all right, so this is my amp, right? So this is 4 ohms.
Yeah.
And what's your head again? Oh, it's like 32 ohms. Can you do that? No, we can't do that. well, then I'm just going to bring my own rig. And then the fucking promoter says, yeah, that's going to take too much time to bring up your own cabinet up on stage.
Yep, and that's then you end up with half a venue full of gear.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, anytime Club Underground has more than 4 bands and the gear is stacked going further and further out from where the stairs are tacked up, just keeps going and
more
going.
gear than there's people there.
It makes the 10 people that are there just a little closer.
Yeah, there's like, we played, there must have been 100 people.
Interesting way to do that, you know? Let's say, hey, can we rent a bunch of chairs and just stack them around the whole thing to move everybody in?
Cardboard cutouts.
That would be pretty cool, actually.
Fill out the room.
Oh, shit. Boba Fett in the corner.
Dude, Sabrina has a Justin Bieber life-size cardboard cutout she got from Herberger's when she worked. I'm bringing that shit.
My birthday is coming up.
That would be awesome to see what you would do with that cardboard cutout.
I'd just take it around town and pose for pictures.
Oh, man, that would be fucking awesome, man.
But like us on Facebook, and you'll be able to find out when the stuff's online.
Yep.
Or you can always just check the Bandcamp page. But yeah, that stuff will be available online pretty soon.
Or call Brian. Where's your phone number? I'm going to put that out for everybody to call at like 3 a.m. while you're sleeping. No? Okay. Bad idea.
Anywho. Yeah, me, the guy who doesn't answer the phone when somebody calls in.
Right.
I don't talk on the phone anymore.
Not a big fan. Do you text? You just a texter?
Pretty much.
Very, very impersonal these days.
You're rotten, dude. You're rotten.
I
want to say thank you guys for coming in, making the time to come in and hang out. I appreciate it very much. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys out playing, and hopefully we can set some shit up soon.
Well,
awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us, and I hope we didn't tank your ratings.
No, the ratings.
That's the thing about podcasts and being able to listen when you want to.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Rob posted something about Google Home, the fucking Alexa for Google Home or whatever. He said, Google Home will play Ritual Madness podcast. He's like, yeah. And like 12 people liked it. And I go, damn, more people like this post than listen to the fucking podcast, dude, you know? I'm Rob kidding, but that's pretty awesome. That's about right. So what's good about it, though, you know, is, again, with the content and what you guys brought for music, I think that it appeals to a lot more people, you know, when they hear stuff that they've never heard before. And again, I always tell bands that come in here, how many times have you gone to a show and hung out with people in bands, or been at a show that you're playing where other people that in the scene come and try to talk to you, and you're worried about getting on and off stage, and you have minimal amount of time to chat with someone, and you really don't have a chance to tell someone, you know, what you started listening to as a kid, and, you know, what got you into where you're at right now. I love that aspect of being able to give that to other listeners and people who are actually interested in podcasts. It's kind of weird. Within the last month, I've been getting a ton of a guy that I met at fucking Subway over here in Blaine text me just the other day saying, hey, made some Subway sandwiches for you. Love your podcast. That's it. LOL. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
I'm like, dude, what Subway are you talking about? And he goes, oh, you came in with a goat horse hoodie on, and we talked about it for like 10 minutes, and you handed me a card. He's like, I've been listening to it for about a year, and I just wanted to let you know. I don't think I ever told you. I just wanted to let you know it's really cool. So that, to me, makes me want to do this shit so much more. Not to mention that I get to hang out with my friends and people that I see in the scene and admire in the scene and look up to in the scene as well, and get to help them maybe get more people to listen to their band too. You know?
That's what you're saying. They talk about Subway, dude. Like those kinds of instances, like that's one of those things where it's like it's fucking cool as shit to hear that. It's kind of like, all right, well, I'm glad I do this. You know,
dude, I fucking had you know, the Minnesota Ritual Madness podcast sticker on the back of my Kia. I've been working in Hopkins for a year at this point, and fucking I'm driving home from work, and I get a message on Facebook, hey dude, following you home from Hopkins right now. Been listening to your podcast for about a month. Hey, your promotion on the back of your car actually works.
Nice.
Sweet Kia is what he said. And I'm like, I just fucking started laughing. I'm like, that's badass, man. Just one random dude out of nowhere fucking.
That actually is kind of the reason you put stuff like that on the back of your car. Yeah, so it's like, it's nice to actually get dividends every once in a while. Yeah. I'm like, all right.
And then I think like a month later, I crashed the fucking car, you know? But yeah. But I appreciate you guys coming in and taking the time to do it. I know on a Friday night sometimes, I mean, we're kind of older cats now, but I know sometimes I try to book these and they go, what night? And people will go, oh, Friday night? Fuck. there's always shows on Friday night. Dude, I won't say his name.
I'm in bed by now.
But he's a younger dude in the death metal scene, right? He's a super cool kid. He's been coming to the Lee shows like almost every single one. Super cool kid. I tell him, dude, I want to get your band on here, man. I like your band, da-da-da-da-da. I booked a show for him. He came and played. He did great. Never seen the kid play before. His band did excellent. And I'm like, you got to come in here and do a podcast. He's like, okay. 3 months in advance, we booked this fucking show. The week before, I contact him. I say, hey, dude, we still on for the podcast. What's the date again? I'm like, dude, I told you, I put it on the calendar. If you give me a calendar date and I mark it down and I get a hold of you and you're not able to show up, I'm going to be pissed. He goes, yeah, I booked a show that night. I can't do it. I was like, fuck off, man. And then like a week after that, he contacts me and goes, dude, I just listened to the one podcast you just did with so-and-so. Fucking love it, man. Let's do a podcast. I'm like, it took me like a week to get back to him. I just wanted to go fuck off.
Man, I gotta settle down here.
Yeah.
As I'm older, as I'm crankier, it takes me a while to chill out.
Well, now and then last week I had to cancel a podcast with these cats, and they've got like 28 dudes in their band, and they're like this Celtic band, you know. And I had already had to reschedule for this one, and then I got sick for a fucking week, and then I had to reschedule again, and I could tell this dude was like, "Fuck you, guy! How fucking professional are you for doing the podcast?" But thanks again, by the way, anyways. And thanks to everybody listening in the podcast realm and the ether out there. Do me a favor, check out ritualmanispodcast.com. On the right side, you can connect with iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Download to listen to my radio app, LISTN, the number 2, My Radio. Search Ritual Madness Podcast in that bar there. Amazon link, click that, bookmark it, do all that good stuff. Submit your music to ritualmadnesspodcast@gmail.com, and I'll put it on the station and maybe get you in here to do a podcast. I love doing these things. I try to stay as consistent as I possibly can, but you know, you got scheduling issues and kids and sickness and whatever. So I try to do what I can. I appreciate everybody tuning in and being loyal to the podcast. It means a ton to me. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not making any money off of this, and I just love the bands and love having people come in here. So thank you for listening. Thanks for coming in, fellas. I appreciate it. We've got one more song for Mordrot, Before the Rot. Tell me what that is all about.
It's about being buried alive.
Nice. Where's my Father's Day cake? Oh, sorry. I just had to throw that in there.
I got my cake.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Peace out, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness.